Hi everyone! We successfully introed our show. Welcome to Wisdom Saves Saturday bi-weekly campaign. My name is Dom, I'm the Dungeon Master, and we are about to play some Dungeons and Dragons. God, I miss Critical Role. But we are a close seventh. So let's go ahead and go around the table and introduce all our players before we get into rolling dice and kicking butts. And we're all out of butts. Allie!
Hello, everyone. My name is Alishiera. I'm a content creator for Legacy Esports, and I play Brynjael the Irradiant, who is a very good girl. She's a paladin, and she is just here to do her best.
Lovely. And now for chaotic order, Aery.
Oh, okay. This is chaotic order. I was not prepared. Hello. I'm Kat, and I play Aery, who is very chaotic, and a bisexual disaster warlock boy.
Love those. Those are the best. Heads. Have we got Eminence back?
Oh, that was me. Sorry, you cut out halfway through. I thought you were saying red. Hello.
No, that's it.
I'm Eminence. I play Eminence. My name is Nicole. She is a also pretty chaotic, spoilt, sheltered disaster of a young tiefling warlock.
Again, those are the best. Let's move it over. Oriana.
Hello, I am Maleficent. I am a streamer and a cosplayer, and I have brain. I play Oriana. She is Eminence's sister, and she is a tiefling cleric, and she's angry all the time. Probably because she's, Eminence's sister.
She's a cleric. She heals people.
No.
Haven't seen too much of that yet. Eredan.
Hey, I am Josh. I play Eredan. He is a elvish bard who is a man on the run and makes us a long series of increasingly bad life decisions.
Like any good character. Natalie.
Natalie doesn't make bad decisions ever. She just makes decisions that she feels bad about.
Oh, I'm not sure which is worse. Making a bad decision and feeling fine, or making a normal decision and feeling bad.
Hit a little bit too hard.
Yeah, exactly. Got too real in here. Those are our 6 players. Once again, I'm Dom, I'm the Dungeon Master, and let's catch up with what happened last week. The party joined an organization called the Weft. They were given a very, to them, seemingly simple assignment. A kingdom to the south of them called VaguelyIllogical, just north of the Deep Wood, has a unique problem. Deep in the deep wood, there is a forest of statues where if you bury a corpse, a short while later, a statue of an exact likeness of the deceased will rise up out of the ground. The problem is the newest statue to join the forest of statues is an exact likeness of the current monarch, a King Arnold Lupo. Now, this is not exactly good news for VaguelyIllogical, so the party has been tasked to try and figure out what's the deal with airplane food? No, what's the deal with the statues? So they set out on the South Road. They passed through the Mistlands and encountered some unique creatures on their last session. And now they are just passing through the south end of the Mistlands, and they are arriving to VaguelyIllogical. If I remember correctly, it was about midday when you guys arrived at the Mistlands. You wanted to push through so that you wouldn't be close to it at nighttime. And the day is yours. It's still bright blue sky. In the flatlands, there is grass as far as you can see. No hills, a few clouds lifting up in the distance, and behind you, that giant bubble of mist is still shimmering translucently. What would you 6 like to do?
I guess we should just keep going.
How are we feeling after that? I don't remember exactly how we left off, but are we feeling maybe like a half hour nap?
I'm feeling like a nap.
Feeling like a
Pretty
nap?
appropriate. I'm feeling like a nap. I mean, I'm happy to just. Is there a way for us to like nap on our horses, or is that gaming the system a little bit?
That I don't think like the idea of a short rest is that you can actually rest during that time, and you need to be engaged while you're riding your horse. I don't know who
What
rides
if,
their horse
what
like
if we
this.
like attach someone
I'm
to the back
imagining
of their
just, like-
horse?
Yeah, I'm imagining just like hopping on the back of Oriana's horse and just be like draped over her shoulders, like snoring in her ear.
That's called passing out. You can pass out. That'll be
I'm not quite there yet.
a
Well, it's the middle of
D8
the
worth
day.
unconsciousness.
It's the middle of the day though, right? Like we can stop,
Yeah.
have some lunch, like have
Yeah.
a pretty chill time.
Refresh and regroup.
Yeah, exactly. We're not in that much of a rush that an hour is going to matter.
I don't think so.
No, I guess not.
Let's do it. So yeah, we just try to find a spot on the side of the road that we can all sit down and have some lunch, and I don't know, maybe some of them will
Yeah.
thumb through some of the books or something, like just entertain
And
themselves.
adequate distance from the fog though, because we'd only like just cleared the fog not that much, had we?
Okay.
So like probably
Define
what
adequate.
progress like maybe just half an hour or something like that, and then find a clearing, just so that we're
Sure.
not in like immediate proximity to the mist. Probably is a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the six of you continue on with your horses, following the road further south. And every now and again, you glance back behind you and can see that the bubble is receding somewhat in the distance as you travel further and further away. And again, aside from that bubble, the terrain is completely featureless. It is just these flat blades of grass that come up to about mid-thigh height. And every now and again, the breeze sort of dances through them, and you could smell the crisp summer air starting to rise up. I suppose the crisp spring air. But half an hour passes. You see that there is no clearing, per se, for you to stop at. This road, you get the sense that when travelers stop, they just step off the path and sit down in the grass and try to clear that out a little bit. There doesn't appear to be like designated stopping locations. This is a throughway.
Are there any like, can we see from the road just like maybe any fallen trees or anything like that, or any like rocks or things that can kind of be sat on at least?
You see no trees, and you do not see any rocks rising above the flatlands, which is named for the
How dare it be flat?
topography.
Flatlands. just rude.
But it can be flat and occupied.
It probably is
Still
occupied. You guys want to explore the grass?
Yeah, I guess sitting on the grass is still fine. That's still nice.
You can just flatten
Yeah.
the grass on it will be
Yeah,
fun.
it'll be
Aery's
like
gonna
nice and
like
cushiony.
make a circle with his horse and try and like flatten out a perimeter. It's like walking through.
Making
Like a
crop
dog
circle.
making a bed.
Yeah.
Do a couple of nice laps around. Get yourself a comfortable resting location, and the six of you get an opportunity to take a short rest.
Now, did we heal up? Is everyone looking okay? Did we do that at the end of like before we finished? Is everyone looking pretty okay?
I think we
I
I'm fine, but I don't think I got hit by anything, so
I was healed, but let me just see what a short rest gives me.
you get spell slots back.
Yeah, I do.
Hmm.
That I'm fine. Yeah, I'm chill.
You can expend hit dice if you want as well. I just muted myself.
Yeah. If people are going to use hit dice, let me know, and I guess I'll use Song of Rest.
Sure. So, do you want to start Song of Rest, or is that something that you can just do at the end of a rest?
That's fair. We have already rested. I did leave it too late.
I'm kind of at the beginning of this. I want to see what everybody's doing before we go into the short rest. You know, just in case you're attacked or anything.
I don't need to take a short rest. Like, my hit dice and stuff are fine, so I would like to keep watch.
Sure.
That
Why
was the
don't you
same
go
as
ahead and make a Sure. Why don't the both of you make a perception check, or one of you can make it with advantage?
Do you want to both do it, just in case?
Yeah, let's both do it.
I don't know that either of us have overly good perception.
Not fantastic. That's a 12.
Rely on me. It's fine. Oh, that's a 16.
16.
We do rely on
Yeah. And the remaining 4 of you are resting. And Eredan, you're trying to play a Song of Rest.
Yeah,
And I-
I would think, Bryn, if we're like just sitting and kind of kicking back and chillaxing for like a hot minute, I think she would take like the chest of books and sit next to Aery and ask if Aery had any opinions on any of the particular titles.
Okay. Harry would share his
So-
opinion.
Anyone taking hit dice back should get an extra 1d6 on top of whatever they get.
Oh, sick.
Yeah, so I imagine Aery is like, oh gosh, I forget the name. What are those wine people?
Connoisseur.
Yeah.
Sommelier?
Yeah.
A
So-
sommelier of
no.
smut.
Sommelier,
Sommelier.
that's the one. I was like, Sauvignon? No, wait, that's not it.
Wine
sommelier.
savant.
I imagine Aery is like a sommelier of smut.
Yeah, well, usually he doesn't read it; he like creates it. So, but I'm sure that would give him opinions.
Well,
He
sure.
would know it's good.
In
Oh,
that case,
no.
what is everyone's thoughts on the list of smut that you guys find in this chest?
Pretty much all sounds amazing.
I feel like Aery would be one of those people who reads like terrible young adult fan fiction type stuff and is like, "That's not how that works." Like,
Yeah, I'd be like, oh, that's not right.
Those are not safe BDSM practices.
yeah.
Like the person in the comments be like, "Are you open to constructive criticism?"
Just
Just
writing
sending
letters, being
letters.
like, in chapter 2,
Yeah.
I just need
It
you to
probably
know.
should have worked more like this. Also, you should never do that.
Excellent. So the hour passes without incident. With a 16, you see grass shifting. You see clouds floating across the sky. One looks like a cat.
Perfect.
A very pretty cat.
Yeah. That's about it.
That's why
exciting.
Oriana only got a 12. She was watching the cat clouds.
Um, when I kind of rouse from the little nap I take, I would like to ask for a bit of a debrief on what just happened. What does anyone know what those things were?
Aside from telling you that they're undead, no, I've never really encountered anything like that before.
What you hit them with, it worked. It worked quite well.
Well, I think it was a combination between, I mean, it was a moonlight spell, but I think it was really the sunlight that was able to permeate through the mist that was kind of hitting a little bit harder.
Okay.
They were really ugly though, hey.
So
ugly.
gross.
I see why they
They're
wear them.
so ugly.
So ugly.
Can you imagine being so ugly it hurts people to look at you? Wow.
Maybe that's why they live in the mist.
Maybe. I wonder what makes it. It looks so strange. Just a little bubble of mist. How is that possible?
It's definitely not natural.
You guys can make nature checks
Aery wouldn't
if
know
you
shit.
want to know about the mist.
Give it a
I
go.
I kind of want to do it just for the fun of it.
give that a go. But yeah, it's not great.
I mean, in nature, I will be shocked. Holy, I am shocked.
Dirty 20.
What?
Why do I have a +5 for nature of all things?
Feel
Really?
smart.
Yeah, because you
You
More.
wanted to be good with animals. Maybe they kind of.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. So that's a 16.
16? Okay. Anyone else?
Dirty 20. Apparently, I know a lot about mist for no good reason.
Dirty 20. You know that there are lots of you don't know what would generate a static bubble of mist like that could last throughout the sun, especially one that has lasted for so long to have gained its own title. you suspect it is not natural in terms of like a geothermic vent or something like that, considering how it is very clearly spherical. But as to what could be the cause, with a dirty 20, I'm afraid that is not enough.
Ooh.
Who rolled? Someone rolled last session to find out that they were Bodax. Who was that?
I think that was maybe also me. But I didn't write it down.
Yeah, I think it was.
Because someone definitely rolled and got told what they were.
Something culty as well.
Yeah, it's like tied to like the abyss, isn't it? I can't remember.
The Underdark.
Underdark, okay.
So they are sensitive to sunlight, which is why they were able to come up on the surface in the mist.
Do we know of anything like if we then connected to Underdark, which I did write down also that someone worked out that they were Bodax, but I don't know who it was. They were connected to the Demon Lord Orcus. Orcus?
The Demon Lord Orcus. Yeah.
Orcus.
Do we know if there's anything like that maybe would have sparked our like radar, like, you know, hearing about the Underdark and this, and then been like, that seems awfully familiar.
I don't understand your question. You went through a whole bunch of different concepts and didn't arrive at a concrete question.
Does the presence of something from the Underdark line up with anything that might have happened? Like we heard whispers of it somewhere, or like something like that. Is it enough to spark our interest enough for it to be interesting? Like,
sure.
Like
so as far as the Underdark, like the basic knowledge is that everybody knows that the Underdark exists deep underground. And every now and again you hear stories of like, oh, this little child didn't listen to her mother and ran to the chasm and fell forever, and stuff like that. You also know every now and again dwarves to the west, the mining dwarves of Frovale occasionally breach into the Underdark mining downwards like Minecraft. So they do have to make sure that they are careful when they mine directly downwards. But in terms of there being the Underdark isn't something that is regularly experienced. It is a very surprising occasion to find something from the Underdark on the surface. And even more surprising to find an actual way into the Underdark. It is deep underground.
Right. I guess I'm like trying to get just an idea of like the area in general. Is that like normal shit, or is that like, you know, kind of weird?
Which it's pretty weird.
It's
pretty weird. Yeah.
Okay, cool. We love weird shit.
Same TBH.
I guess maybe it's something we keep in mind.
Yes. Any other correlations to Underdark and stuff?
And any other signs of perhaps worshippers of Orcus? I can't imagine that these creatures brought themselves to the surface. If you know what I mean.
That's a very good point.
No, anything particularly undead is usually tied to a master, unless it's of like a sentient level that is in control of its own actions.
I wonder if there are more in there. Maybe we should just go around the outside on our way back.
Yes, well, I don't think we're in a particular hurry on the way back. We weren't given a time limit to fulfill this task.
Theoretically, the longer it takes us, the more we get paid.
I don't think that's how we're on a salary. I think
that was how it worked.
Are we salaried? I don't understand. I've never had a job.
We are entitled to 6,000 per year. Currently will be distributed at the monthly mark. Can be negotiated to a fortnightly payment if we feel it is going to be something that will help us.
When we next have a good long rest, someone may want to sit down with me and actually explain all of this.
Oh, me too, please.
Also, should we be considering like a union or something? Like, no.
Well, understand. There's no point filling your brains with things that don't really matter.
Okay,
I mean, all I know about unionizing is that my father was very against unions. He seemed to think that they were problematic. But
This
that's
seems
my
like a
father
very
for you.
intricate subject that maybe we can discuss at a different time once we are not near a giant death bubble of mist.
Yes, perhaps we should make our way to that forest and do the thing that we're supposed to do. I suppose.
Let's head
so
on.
I mean,
On horses and elk.
yes, horses and elk. The six of you set off, departing the Mistlands and heading further south. We are going to quick fast travel. And you have as you travel south on the fourth day since leaving the Mistlands, you come across another trade caravan. This one looking a little bit larger than, I believe his name was Demur and Thomas. This one looking a little bit larger. This one actually has mercenaries along the sides trudging through the grass. It looks to be a 5 or 6 wagon caravan, and they are traveling north with large wagons full of silks and wood, night wood. And the six of you have to get off of the path as you finally start to approach this caravan. You can see humans, half elves, elves. You do not see a tiefling in this one, but you do see a dwarf in this caravan. And they seem to be a little, not necessarily surprised to see a traveler, but they weren't a group of travelers, I should say. They probably weren't expecting to run into people at this location. Yeah, they pass on by you heading north. Do you guys want to stop and talk to the caravan? Continue past?
Can Bryn just ask someone that looks like they would know what kind of like intricacies of the stock they have, and ask if they sell it, if they have any chocolate?
Yes.
Sure. So there is a head of the caravan. Let's see. His name is Joseph. And Joseph, he looks over and, well, I don't have any chocolate. Don't have chocolate. We've got salt.
Oh, just as good.
we do have strawberries, but I'm trying to hold on to the strawberries. These are for the kids up north. But
Oh,
I could be
understandable.
convinced to part with them for a reasonable price.
I don't know if they're unhealthy enough that they'll be of particular interest to Eminence. She
Yeah,
seems to really want the chocolate.
What's the point of having strawberries if you can't eat them with chocolate? Really?
And with your silks that you carry, are you selling just bolts of silk, or do you have garments that have been made?
Well, we've got some garments that have been made. The primary export for this expedition is bolts from the spiders of the deep wood. Hopefully, this should be a pretty good yield for us and the boys, and the girls, and all of the other in betweens. That should keep our bellies full.
Do they have any scarves? Made up.
We don't have one made, but we can have one made if you're willing to sit for about an hour. And he looks over. There is a human woman who looks like the barbarian from Diablo 3. Like red hair, super buff, like wearing like a vest tank top. And she's in one of the wagons at the back. And you can see like her top knot bun at the top has 2 knitting needles crossed through the bottom.
I love that so much.
Cute.
I don't really want to be holding up the rest of the party.
Oh, if you would like a scarf, I completely understand.
Oh, it wasn't for me. It was going to be for my mother, but I can get one from somewhere else. I'm not going to see her in a long time anyway.
Well, the silks of Valetaire are legend fantastic.
Next time we're in a big city, perhaps we can all go shopping and we can find her something nice there.
That
Yes, we can
sounds
help
pretty
you find a
fun.
lovely scarf.
when are the 7 of us going to be back in Valetaire together?
Yeah, it could happen.
I mean, it's a 2-week journey north for us and another 2 weeks back, plus the time that it takes to distribute these goods. So, say 2 months?
Yeah, if the fates align, then they do. And if not, it just was not meant to be. But I hope so much that it is.
You look like you've got a great sense of style. I can't wait to see what you would put me in.
I cannot wait to dress you, my friend. It will be a very good time. It will definitely happen at some point.
Fantastic. I'm looking forward to it.
Bryn is like disengaging and like just slowly like backing out of this conversation and getting back on Arden. Like while Aery is. Thank you for your
Excellent.
time.
Yeah, it seems like it's left, so we'll keep going. Have a good one. Goodbye.
Bye.
Oh, we should have
Yeah.
asked him about the bubble.
The bubble, right.
I'm sure
Oh,
that
well.
maybe there are, I mean, potentially the Pater family or anyone in Valetaire might have some information. I mean, they're living not too far from it. They probably get a lot of information from travelers there.
True.
Yes.
Forging ahead.
Forging
we
ahead.
Can we see like the end of the plains yet, or is it still just like as far as the eye can see?
You can. You are starting to see a shadow on the horizon. The shadow of trees far off in the distance. Still probably about a day's worth of travel away. But you are getting closer and closer to Valetaire. And it is toward the evening of that same night that you come across that merchant caravan that you start to come across the first farms on the edge of Valetaire. Great swaths of land that have been cleared out, pens that have been built from these dark wood. You can see cattle, you can see horses, sheep, all manner of farm creatures. Excuse me, can't breathe right now.
Oh, not good.
Someday I will get this burp out of my chest. But
This is not this day.
Yeah. You start to come across the first farms. They're small, single-room cottages, and as you get further in, the farms become more and more complex, layering further out with a whole bunch of different fruits and vegetables growing. As it is spring, it is getting close to you harvest. How do you farm? Do you harvest in fall or do you harvest in spring?
I think it's pretty standard. It's like dependent on the crop, but typically, like you'd have harvest season for us is like more towards autumn, and then we have one near spring as well because we're
Sure.
temperate.
The plants are growing. That's a good way
I
of putting it.
imagine probably Aery and Eminence would not have seen a lot of like farms, so Aery would probably be riding next to Eminence and they would just be like pointing at like all the different like farm animals and like machinery and like everything they haven't seen before. Yeah.
Yeah.
We are that video
cow!
of
Oh,
the
look,
queen
cow!
pointing out cows. Cows! Oh, look, a horse! Even though we're like on horses.
Oh look, like a tiny little
Gee-gees.
baby cow. Yeah.
Oh, how precious.
Really excited.
Yes. Yeah. Do you want to continue on through the night to try to reach Valetaire late at night, or do you want to wait until morning to make the final push?
I
Can-
think like if we're in like kind of more civilized area, we could probably push if we were wanting to. Because if it's at farmland, is there really anywhere we can pull off to the side and camp easily, or do we kind of have to be hitching up on someone's property?
Now that you're coming up to this farmland, you can see that like small wooden fences have been put up alongside of the path, and every now and again they branch off into paths leading towards these different farms. There are plots of land that are just not claimed that you can pretty easily just rock up on, and even here, like in this sort of farmland, a lot of the grass has been cleared and kept like short, tight, clean, just so that anyone who needs to use the plot can use it.
Forgive me if
I
I
mean-
was wrong, but we're expecting to get to Valetaire before we get to the stones, right? Or is it the other way around?
Yes. So Valetaire is north of the Deep Wood, and within the Deep Wood, which is to the south of Valetaire, is the Forest of Statues. The six of you are coming from the north, so you will hit Valetaire first.
Okay. I'm just wondering whether maybe it might be best to be well rested for us getting into the city. We'll want to ask questions and get some information. It might be best to kind of approach it at a slow and steady pace rather than pushing through.
Yeah, it's been a hard day. I don't want to ride all night as well.
Okay
Also
with that
fair.
if everybody else is?
Well, then we seem to have some of these nice cleared patches. Should we just, find an appropriate one and settle in for the evening?
Sounds like a plan.
I'm happy with that.
Yeah, it's not too hard. The six of you find a small plot of land, maybe 10 meters by 30 meters, and just off of the side of the main path, and you're easily able to set up onto it. As you're also heading down towards this farmland, getting closer and closer to Valetaire, you're also finally seeing trees again. Many of them have been well groomed and maintained close to these farms, but every now and then you get to see an oak next to a small creek that's really just gotten nice and huge with age. So finally, there are things that are taller than you within line of sight.
Love that.
Yeah, so the six of you set up camp. Is there anything anyone wants to do over the course of this night?
Not really.
I think,
Okay.
we're just basically looking to sleep.
Nap
Yeah.
time.
General,
Right.
like, campfire banter and go to sleep.
Sure.
Do we feel we need to keep watch here? Not
It's
really.
probably not a bad idea.
Yeah.
But maybe we
There-
don't need a double watch. We can just have one person. And I can take
Fair.
most of the night because, I don't need to sleep as much as you guys.
If you're happy with
I'll
that,
take the other
then
half between the two of us, so it'll be alright.
okay. Then.
There are people coming and going on the path at this location. This does appear to be the primary road leading into Valetaire. It is starting to widen out from maybe 2 horses wide to 4 horses wide. And I've kind of, hey, yeah,
Bless.
Bless.
Yeah.
everything's
Hey.
coming out right now. You are starting to see like stones along the side of the path that sort of decorate and denote that you are getting closer and closer to civilization. But farmers walk by leading their draft horses, and they look at this group of the 6 of you: a dragonborn half elf, 2 tieflings, an actual elf, and I forget, is Aery also half elf? No, Aery's full elf.
I'm full elf.
Full
Wait,
elf.
who's
Yeah,
a
yeah.
half?
Oh.
I
Sorry,
am
half
also
Oh.
Very non-standard group of adventurers, but they don't look like
Very
you
low wave.
people get off my land. It's more of just like a curiosity. You detect no malice in people looking at the 6 of you.
Do they want to talk to us or are they just checking us out?
They're just checking you out.
Okay, well, I don't want to talk to them either.
Harry would be used to
I feel
that
like-
anyway, wouldn't he? He'd just be like, yeah, you like what you see?
Extremely, yeah. Just like a preen, like a little bit.
Yeah. This is the 3rd set of people since like Dimwar and the merchant that you passed the previous day, Joseph. This is the 3rd group of people that Aery has seen in 2 weeks, aside from his 5 other companions.
Oh wait, shit! I didn't realize it had been that long. Yeah, he'll probably talk to them.
Sure. There's like a half elf farmer, older gentleman. He's got like a scruffy half beard, as much as an elf can grow in a beard, and you can see a little bit of trace of the elven features. And he's walking by, he's chewing a little piece of hay, and he just walks by, looking at the 6 of you.
Hello! Hi!
Hi there.
Is this your farm? Do you live here?
Nope. That's why I'm
Oh.
passing through
Oh, where are you going?
to my farm.
Oh, that's nice. Okay.
Are
Well,
y'all are new?
well, we're not really new because we're not staying here. We're just like traveling through. So I don't think you would say we are new here. But it is our
Hmm.
first time here. But we're not staying.
Ah, it's your first time. What's your business?
We're going to a forest to talk to someone. We're
Going down.
adventurous.
You're going down into the deep wood?
I think so, yes. I don't really pay attention when they make the plans.
Huh. Yeah, all right. Well, fair enough. Good luck. And he starts to continue down his path, leading the draft horse.
Okay, good night. He'll probably not want to talk to any more farmers.
Another couple of farmers pass shortly before, during, and after the sun sets. Just the end of the day, the sun is going down. Can't see in the fields. Heading home.
Oh yeah, I'm not going to talk to them.
Awesome. Excellent. So the six of you set up camp and take a long rest. How are we doing watches?
I'm happy to take the first one, Aery. You want to take the second, and I'll wake you up.
Okay, no problem.
Excellent. All right, so I set up. Take the first watch.
Yeah. Let's get a perception check.
17.
17. As it descends into nighttime and the rest of your party goes to sleep shortly after dinner, you can see the glow of lights in the distance slowly begin to illuminate more and more as the city of Valater begins to light up for the evening. And it's still a good distance off, but you can clearly see that the lights of the city are large enough to slightly brighten the horizon in that direction. And in the center of that, you can see that there is one central spire of lights that catches your eye. That aside, nothing accosts you on your watch.
Cool. Do I know anything? Do we as players know anything much about the city? Because it's a pretty big city, right? Like, is it famous?
So Valater started off as a human logging settlement to try to... Actually, why am I just telling you this? Make a history check.
Yeah,
roll
that's
dice.
Sorry.
If anybody else wants to make a history check, that's fine as well.
Sick. Nat 20, and I have a +3.
Holy cow! Yeah, you know about Valater. Amazing. You sly dog, you almost caught me monologuing.
So,
anyone else or no?
Yeah, I'll do just out of curiosity. Just
yeah, I'm not going to be able to beat 21, but
yeah.
Bryn got a nat 1, so she's already asleep.
17.
Big dreams that are completely fictitious.
and thinks they're about the city.
I got 17.
17, sure. Yeah, so Aery, you probably have kind of an idea about the city as well. Eredan, you very clearly know the most. So Valater started off as a logging outpost just to the north of the Deep Wood, specifically to harvest nightwood, which is a very hardy type of wood that grows within the Deep Wood. The only problem is the wood itself is home to a lot of creepy crawlies and terrible beasties. So in an unprecedented development, a band of elves living in the south of the Deep Wood started helping the humans try to figure out the Deep Wood. Where are the safe places? Where are the unsafe places? And over the course of time, they set up a joint settlement called Valater on top of the logging outpost that there used to be. As a result, the primary population is largely half elven within Valater, as there is a healthy mix of humans and elves within the city. there is a monarchy of originally human descent. However, it is advised by pretty much like a lineage of elven advisors that basically go in tandem together. And you would know with a 23 that Valetaire has been financially successful. Their primary exports are woods and silks. You would also know with a 23 that there have been rumors that the deep wood is moving. And that has some of the people of the town uncomfortable when they cut down a tree and then the next day they go back and there's a new tree in that spot.
Ooh.
If
I
only
would thought that'd be a
happened in
great
Roblox.
thing. You're like, hell yeah, infinite tree.
So question, from where we're camping, can we see the edge of the deep wood?
You can. That's sort of the dark shadow on the horizon to the south. You can't like make out individual trees from this distance, but you can see it sort of like you could see the ocean from a distance. It's just this horizontal strip.
Right. Yeah. So I couldn't tell if it was shuffling around or anything. No, it's alright. Cool.
You would not be able to look at it and tell. No. Yeah, with a 23, you would also know that the deep wood is closely related to the Fae. You would know that this is one of the locations where the barrier between the material plane and the Feywild is pretty thin, so things can tend to get a little wacky within the deep wood.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
Keep that in mind. Alright.
Awesome.
So the rest of my watch passes respectfully, and I give Aery a tap on the shoulder and say, "Hey, it's time to get up. I need to get some rest. Your turn."
Okay. Time for me to do the watch.
I like how Aery wakes up from sleep and is just immediately bright and cheery.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's way too chipper.
Impossible. Yeah, so let's get a perception check.
Okay. 12 plus 6. 18.
6 plus 18, 24?
Oh, no. 12 plus 6. 18.
Gotcha. Okay. Yes. Yes, with an 18, you again, every now and again, you have farmers coming home from a day in the field, some of them heading south, some of them heading north to and from different farms. As it is later in the evening, you also occasionally get drunkards stumbling by. Some of them, one particular pair of drunkards kind of stops and sees the six of you. I imagine you still have that campfire set up from earlier, and they seem to be contemplating knocking out next to the fire, next to strangers, where it's warm and comfortable. And they're kind of whispering to each other, "Should we stop here? They got a fire." And the other one kind of, "No, it's just a little. This is just up the road. We're almost there. We're almost there." And they kind of stumble for a second, teetering.
I was like, do I have any? Yeah, can I use Mage Hand to just like gently like push on their backs, just like push them along, or, like push them tougher?
They're like arm in arm on each other, so you gently push against one of them, and he kind of slowly leans forward and catches himself, and the other kind of stumbles forward. He's like, "Okay, you don't have to push." He's like, "What? I didn't push." And the two of them continue to stumble past towards their home to the north. But your watch passes without incident. Dawn breaks. It is sunrise on a new day.
Wake up, everyone! It's time to go.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's passed
Alright.
by very quickly.
Oh
Bryn will
god.
roll out of bed and start packing everything up.
Eminence is just a lump under covers while everyone else is packing up the campsite.
Gets onto your
Does-
horse, but in a sleeping bag.
Yeah, I was thinking,
Yeah.
does with Oriana or Aery these days?
Sorry, what was that?
Does Eminence share a 10 with Oriana or Aery these days?
I'd say Aery.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
She's very
Aery will-
independent from her sister, and she doesn't need your help
Oh
whatsoever.
yeah, absolutely.
Aery will go and sit on her to wake her up.
All right, I'm up.
I imagine that's not the first time that has happened.
Probably not.
Nice.
Come on, Emmy, let's go. We're going to go see a forest today.
Ugh. All right, just give me a minute.
Start like pulling on her hair.
Just like a small sibling, just like, come on.
Yeah, it's time to go. It's time to go. It's time to go.
Yeah, this is literally me and my pug waking me up in the morning. That's what's happening right now. It's just
Aery's a
like
small dog.
scary.
Sweet.
Yeah, head
So
on.
the six of you head on. You continue on. So continuing on down the path, it's not too much longer before the city of Valater begins to come into view, and that dark shadow on the horizon begins to grow larger and larger as you head further and further south. The first thing that catches your attention as you see the city is the great spire in the center of Valater, the central keep slowly rising further and further above the tree line as you approach the city proper. And it appears to be stonework, but very clearly elven in design. It has these sort of very intricate circular patterns rising up, so that the tower almost looks like a tree growing and reaching up towards the sky. And you can see these windows sort of decorating up towards the top, which has this pointed spire at the summit. At the base of that, you can also start to make out a much larger citadel situated in the center of the massive city of Valater. Very easily a population of 40 or 50,000 people. The buildings and tenements rise up to 2 stories very regularly. You can see the outside of the town has what is it? The wooden, not wooden stakes that like point out, but like a wooden barricade. I want to say
Yeah.
Palisade?
palisade.
Is that what
Yes.
you're looking
Yeah. Has a wooden palisade, and you can see that there are guards patrolling the palisade, and it seems to stretch fully around the city. And even outside of the palisade, you can see that smaller tenements have been built just outside the wall that directly abut the wall itself. So you get the sense that the city is continuing to expand as time goes on. The primary architecture are wooden buildings, and as you get closer and closer into the city, you can see that stonework is not super common in this location. You get the sense that their primary building material is wood, and not just in like a German Bavarian wooden cabin, but in a very deliberate way that is very clearly of elven origin. Instead of cutting straight through the knot of a log, using that knot as a support point for another beam that is asymmetrical and flowing across the architecture. It is uniquely beautiful. And as you arrive towards the center gates, you can see that they are currently swung open, banded steel across these massive wooden doors that are actually reinforced 2 logs thick. And as you approach, you can see people are coming and going about their business. Some of them heading to the tenements outside. You can see a whole bunch of farmers and workers on this side of the city. Every now and again, you pass another trade caravan heading out towards a different location within the world. And the guards, they just nod at the 6 of you as you pass. They don't ask any questions. They just let you enter right on into the city. But you have now found your way into the northern end of Valater. There is a stone cobble street beneath you. You've gotten off the dirt and the mud. You can smell sweet meats cooking. You can smell people talking. You can also smell a fair amount of horse manure as people need to come and go to travel about this city. And as you approach, you also can see these vertical, like a 2-story wagon that are being pulled by horses, sort of like what are those? The British like two-story buses.
A double-decker bus.
Yeah, but they're wagons. And you can see like this very intricate metal staircase leading up to the second floor as people are well and truly clear of the city, of the lower class dirt at the lower level, whereas the people on the lower level of these double-decker wagons looking a little bit more common and a little bit more crowded in these wagons as well. But welcome to the city. What would you like to do?
Well, this place looks lovely. We should
So
definitely ride one of those wagons later.
Yes, let's.
Yes, let's do a wagon tour.
I feel like we should get the chocolate sorted before we go on with anything else.
Or
Yes, definitely.
hear me out. We do our job.
Oh, there's plenty of time for that. Remember, we're not on a time limit at all.
Hear me out, Oriana. I believe that they're going to be more focused if the distraction of trying to seek out chocolate is taken care of.
Yeah,
That's
now we'll be on a sugar high.
Yeah, that's just what
too
you
much
want.
chocolate, we won't be able to make them focus.
What if you are in charge of keeping the chocolates, but we have it in our possession?
No.
Excuse
Okay,
me.
look, we
Before
are
I'm
not children. We do not need anyone to control our chocolate. We will do it ourselves.
Thank you very much.
Well-
We are capable of feeding ourselves.
Yes, but I'm aware that you may not be capable of stopping feeding yourself the chocolate, and then you're not going to have any chocolate left, and then you're going to need to go and find more chocolate again.
I don't see a problem with that, to be honest.
Well,
Anyway,
I'm
are there any
advised
sweet
next.
stores around?
Yeah, you can smell sweetmeats cooking. There is a stand very close to the gates where someone is hawking different sweetmeats. Just a little further inside, someone is selling candied apples. Someone is selling toffee at a small stand just past that. And lastly, you do find a stand that says CHOCCLIT.
Oh,
Chocolate!
chocolate. All right, we'll head straight over there. I would like to dismount my horse and peruse the wares.
Absolutely. There is light chocolate, there is dark chocolate, there's chocolate with different bits of fruits and nuts embedded into it. And underneath, you can see sort of like a tin tray. And at the bottom of the tin tray, you can see an iron cage that appears to contain some sort of living small fire creature. And the creature's kind of against the cage in the bottom, but there's no sound coming out. And the fire seems to be heating this tin contraption. And as as you approach, you can see the gentleman behind the sort of tin tray reaches in and pulls out a fresh tray of chocolate, freshly like melted. It's still nice and toasty warm, and just kind of rotates it like he's breaking ice out of a shaker, and cracks it all into different pieces and starts to shuffle it around to look for any imperfections.
Oh,
Imagine,
I'll
like, yeah, Aery have
crouch
like the
down.
biggest eyes right now.
Yeah.
Uh,
Looks over.
can I crouch down and have a look at the little creature in the cage and just be like,
Yeah.
"Excuse me, sir, what is that?"
Oh, don't touch that. That's
Oh.
that is a live fire elemental sprite, really. But he keeps burning and he keeps me nice and toasty, so I can continue to produce these fine wares for all of you folk.
He is just adorable. Does he have a name?
He does, but I will not say it because it just makes him mad. I've put a little silence bubble on top of the sphere, on top of his cage. I tell you, if you could hear what he was saying, whew, I would not be allowed in these gates. And you can see that the little sprite is like,
He doesn't seem to like being here very much.
well, he's the one who proposed the contract. So he's got himself, let's see, 2 years and 3 months left. And at the very end, he gets to take 50% of my money. So I guess if that's what makes him happy. I don't know what a fire sprite is going to do with money, but whatever.
Hmm.
Mm. Well, if they're in business together, it's not really for us to judge.
Yes. I'm looking at my spell list. I thought I had dispel magic, and I don't.
Oh no.
Bryn's gonna like walk up to them. Have either of you seen anything in particular that takes your fancy? There seems to be quite a large selection.
Oh yes, I would like at least some of all of them. And do you
Oh.
have, like a tin or anything, like like a nice lined like sweets box that we can keep them in so they don't get
Absolutely. Trust me, nothing is worse than reaching back for your chocolate and finding it all melty in your pocket. I've got just the thing right here. And he kind of reaches behind the thing and pulls out a small wooden chest and pops it open. Inside, you can see a series of small tin trays. And he pops it open. And you can see that there's like a fine layer of silk just inside of the tin tray. And he says, I enchanted these myself. They will ensure that no matter where you take the tin, the temperature is always just below ambient so that your chocolate never
Yes.
gets too melty.
Lovely. Okay, I guess I will take one of these.
Of course, that'll run you 35 gold.
No problem. Did they have any like designs or anything on them?
Sure. Yeah. What are you looking for?
I don't know, just like something pretty.
Sure. There's one that has like ivy sort of crisscrossing and intricate designs. You can see one that has what looks like an engraving of the moon on top of it. You could see one that just has like chocolate written across the front of it.
Oh no, I don't want people to know. I get the moon
Um,
one.
Okay, yeah. And he hands it over to you. And of course, as is customary with a purchase of one of our enchanted tins, you get to fill it with your choice of chocolate.
I'll just choose like, yeah, as much as I can possibly fit in there of like all the different types.
Yeah, you just go for like the full sampler.
Yeah.
Okay. You load it up, and he kind of chuckles and, boy, you're really filling that. You're really feeling that. Okay. I
But
did
as
not.
travelers, we don't know when we'll be able to come back and buy more chocolate from you,
Well, I'm here 6 days a week, so sunrise to just before sundown.
Sounds good. I'm sure we will probably be back before we leave.
Well, it's a pleasure doing business with you. And hey, if you've got any interested recipes for new chocolate, I'd always be happy to hear them.
Oh, okay. I will think about it.
Looking forward to it. Have a lovely one.
Bryn is
Oh.
going to just ask for like the highest percentage cacao dark chocolate that he has.
Okay, yeah.
Like
So
as dark as it goes. If he's got a 99%, perfect.
he has like a small tray, maybe about this big, and you can see that half of it is already missing. And he pulls it out, and our darker chocolates don't really sell all that well. They're a bit too sour for the local palate. But I do have this, and he kind of offers it to you. And sure, yeah, it's 99%. It is
Yeah.
dark and it is bitter. And as you kind of take a bite of the sample that he offers you, you think you get like just a little bit of cocoa nib.
Oh hell yeah, textural.
Yeah.
Do you know if you're going to be producing any more of it within the next week?
Oh, absolutely. If you're interested, I can have a new batch whipped up in, I'd say it'll probably take me about 3 hours.
I don't know when we're going to be coming back through. We do have some business to attend to, but I will swing by before we leave.
Sure. Tell you what, I'll set it aside.
Perfect. And how much just for this amount for now?
For a single serving of the dark chocolate, we'll call that 4 silver.
Oh, she'll take like whatever is there, like of the block that he has.
Oh, you're taking the whole block. Okay. Yeah, for that block, that'll be about 2 gold.
Perfect.
I will also buy a fancy tin. Thank you.
Yeah. Go ahead and mark off 35 gold.
Yes, and I'll fill it with a. I'd like to start by taking the sort of fancy looking chocolates that are like darker and
Yeah.
following Brynjael's lead, but also just a shitload of like white chocolate with fruit in it.
Sacrilege! It's not real chocolate.
But it is delicious and sugary.
Bryn's just like
Yeah.
leaves the store.
So you get the sense that while this guy like specializes in chocolate, it's not like expertise. That's not like the individually prepared cuts or pieces. Like he just makes them in the trays and sells the pieces of the trays, so that as people walk by, it's like, oh, I'll just take a tiny piece and then keep going. He is very pleased with your business. Yeah, so 35 gold from the two of you. I think it was 2 gold for Bryn. Anyone else want some chocolate?
Once everybody else has left, Oriana is going to buy some of the sweetest, most disgusting, like least chocolatey, just sugar rush, whatever.
Yeah. He does have some Hershey's. And he's like, this one's so popular with the kids.
Perfect.
I do have to say though, it'll keep you up. There's a lot of sugar in there.
To be fine. Thank you.
All right. Okay, 4 out of 6.
We love chocolate.
I imagine Natalie and Eredan are just standing side by side watching the rest of the party, just like,
I would imagine
Darn
that probably Natalie hasn't had chocolate before and probably isn't a super sweet tooth.
okay,
Ooh,
yeah.
Bryn will offer some of the 99% cacao to
No.
Natalie.
Oh no.
Yeah,
You're gonna
99%
ruin it.
delicious.
Me as like Megan, I enjoy 99%. So I
Same.
feel, but I feel like Natalie would enjoy that more. Like, can you imagine not having had sugar before and then like having
something
sugar
sweet.
and being like,
Yeah.
oh my god, that's too much? Like you have to slowly ease into it. She'll be a chocolate connoisseur at the end of this, don't you worry.
And
This is
Bryn's gonna
actually-
be like hyping it up, like highest naturally occurring source of magnesium, really good vitamin E, like talking about like the health benefits of dark chocolate.
Natalie will
Look,
just like,
I'll be
you know, like
honest.
pick little bits off, like, okay.
Eredan would be all in on buying some fancy chocolate at the shops, but also I was distracted by trying to work out if I could get to and from the nearby fancy chocolate shop to my house in the break. I cannot. It's very sad.
Oh,
That's okay. We have heaps. Aery will share some of the chocolate with him.
Thank you, Aery.
excellent. 6 out of 6. This is actually the campaign now. Like you
Yes.
guys are like the traveling chef of chocolate.
Oh no,
Well,
I need
another
this.
chocolate club.
This to be the last time we talk about chocolate because I'm going to be ruined if we do this every week.
I'm like 2 seconds away from ordering chocolate to my house. Like,
my
don't do
God.
this to me.
I mean, you guys have Deliveroo down there, don't you? Just like boop boop
We
boop.
have Uber Eats as well.
Yeah.
We have heaps. We have too many, but then that's bad because you're paying for delivery. You
Also
can
true.
like order
Yeah.
from a service station now.
Pay,
Yeah, if I want to pay like
$20 for a box of
$8,
chocolate.
yeah.
We have them, but they also like they don't go to everything. Like
Yeah, I mean,
Mm.
if you want an idea of how much our Uber Eats costs, last week when I was super hungover, I Uber Eats myself a bubble tea, and it cost me $20.
Mm-hmm.
That's like probably what I'm going to do in break. I'm not
It was worth
I
it.
was looking at the bubble tea and I was like,
It was
If I
so
order
worth it.
bubble tea, I always order like 3 of them.
yeah, gotta make it worth it.
Yeah.
No, we
Oh,
can.
boy.
But the bubbles don't do well in the fridge. They keep
It's fine. You
very
can just
cold.
shoot
I
them
usually
out of
only
the straw at
Keep
people
them
instead.
like for a short
Yeah,
time.
I
Anyway,
mean,
back
I-
to D&D.
Modern
Anyone?
solutions.
We're not actually on a break. We should probably continue.
Yeah,
Yeah, we should probably play D&D, huh?
next time we find a tapioca stand in
Yes.
Valater, we can discuss bubble tea.
It's actually the next one over.
Yes.
Oh,
All of that.
oh,
He's
no.
got like a big metal scooper, and he just scoops it out and.
I watch in fascination, but we do walk past while I
Yeah.
nibble my chocolate.
It's,
Just like,
it's got this,
ooh,
like, very
thoughts for
warm
later.
scent. Okay, so the 6 of you have entered into the city. You've got your chocolate. What's the plan, fam?
I
Well,
mean,
I suppose we
well-
should be
well,
asking
we-
around about the forest.
Should we maybe if we get somewhere to get set up for the night, prepare all that, we can ask from there and see where that takes us?
Sounds good. Somewhere to put the horses and Arden.
Yeah, so would there be something like maybe mid-range that we can find fairly easily that is able to
mid-range.
house horses?
Yes. So I have. So you are directed as you ask around for like a place to stay. Most people recommend one of three locations. There's the Golden Tankard, which is upscale. It's nice, but it is expensive. There's the Boar and the Hound, which is in the theater district. That's kind of your run-of-the-mill middle ground. You get a bed, you get food, but don't expect soundproof walls for people snoring. Stuff like that. And then, of course, there is the Harlequin and the Mug. And that is the cheapest bed in all of Valater.
Yeah,
I was
nah.
thinking you meant one place is called the Harlequin and there was another place just called
Just
the
called
Mug.
the Mug.
I mean, if we're looking for places to follow leads, maybe the theater, the Boar, and the... I can't remember what the last part was.
Boar and the Hound.
Boar and the Hound, thank you. But otherwise, I think if we're needing sleep, might be a good plan to find somewhere nicer. Maybe going
Well,
with the
I
first
think-
option.
Yeah, is there
And
any... Do they
How
have
often
any...
are we going to be in this city? I mean, when in Valater?
And I think do any of the establishments, they have stables attached to them so that they'd be able to accommodate our horses and Arden
Yes.
as well.
Golden Tankard has a full stable. Boar and the Hound has stable posts and a plot.
Let's go to the Golden
Maybe let's go to the
And-
Golden Tankard then. Be nice.
The Harlequin and the Mug doesn't handle horses well.
Mm.
Yeah, nah.
You go
See,
there to get your horse stolen.
Yeah.
Doesn't
Yeah.
Arden deserve the best, Bryn?
Well, that genuinely for Bren was just the like, I'm not tying him to a pole overnight.
Do it
Give
for
him his
Arden.
own room.
Yeah. So the six of you head towards the Golden Tankard. You're able to find it rather easily. Following the instructions, you find yourselves in a comfortable, quiet neighborhood, larger houses. Again, that very ornate wooden architecture. Every here and there, you can see sort of marble colonnades, and it looks like you have entered sort of like the upscale neighborhood. People are starting to get a little bit more showy with what they're building for their houses. And very easily, you're able to find the Golden Tankard. It appears to have once been a manor house. It is directly adjacent to a beautiful open garden filled with all variety of different flowers and trees and walkways over small, like bubbling springs. And almost symbolically, you could see a couple of hummingbirds kind of flitting around the front of the Golden Tankard as you approach and enter.
Yeah, let's like
Yeah. Well, I
get
guess
ourselves set up.
would see if there's a stable hand out front to like take the horses and Arden
There
goes.
is a valet. Yes, there is a gentleman. He's got a pressed white linen shirt and he's wearing a black silk vest over the top of it. And as you approach, he says, "Hi, welcome to the Golden Tankard. Will I be handling your animals this evening?"
Oh, yes, please. Sorry, I was taken off guard by the tone of your voice.
Yeah. Have a wonderful stay. And he opens the door for the six of you. And as the six of you go by, he seems to start assessing and looks incredibly confused at the elk.
Bren is just like kind of meeting, like staring at him until he stares back and it's just like, you look after him, kind of like the look of just like
Only the best service, ma'am.
"Hmm, very good."
Enjoy your stay. Entering into the interior, you can see that this has been a converted manor house. You enter into a foyer, but you can see that a lot of the walls on the ground floor have been taken down to open it into a much wider area. You could see beautiful iron wrought tables decorating this well-lit space. Windows are open, and you can see curtains blowing gently in the breeze. There are several other patrons also in fine silks, and some of them also appear to be in suits. Again, primarily elven, half-elven, human. You do see a dwarf or two, and you also do see two tieflings speaking quietly in the corner. And as you enter, who runs? Yes. Entering in, you hear a voice call out from the back. Welcome to the Golden Tankard. How may we be of service for you fine? Oh my, you lot are adventurers, aren't you?
You can tell.
Yes.
Oh. I can always tell. It's good to see some more folk like you around here.
Oh, how lovely. I love this place.
And a dwarf trots out from the back. You can see his beard has been very decoratively trimmed and braided all across his chin. His mustache has like these wide curls that go up onto the side that he must put an incredible amount of effort to maintain. And the rest of his hair is in like a very tight braid that goes down the back of his head and stops at about mid-back. Welcome to the Golden Tankard. My name is Ascat. I used to be an adventurer like you.
Don't say it. Oh, no, don't say it.
And then I retired.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
What were you afraid of me saying?
Oh, I just heard some really horrible stories of what's happened to adventurers, and I don't want to hear them. I might lose my nerve. I'm just kidding. I would never, but I don't want to hear about them anyway. Don't.
No. I went on a bunch of adventures back in the day, and now I found that Dragon's Hoard. That was a lovely day. We split it amongst the boys and girls, and haven't seen them since.
Is that how you could afford such a lovely place here?
Yeah. You like the place, and he kind of motions around.
It's so beautiful.
Oh,
We are
thank you
looking
so
for
much.
rooms, by the way.
Oh, of course. How many will you be needing?
That depends what sort of rooms they are, I suppose.
We've got singles, we've got doubles, we've got suites. What do you... I count 6 of you. Seems like the 6 of you together. That elven bloke is a bit...
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh no, he's fine, really. He just has a threatening aura.
Yeah. He keeps looking over his shoulder. You're all right here,
We try to tell him all the time that we'll keep him safe, but it's fine. He'll be okay.
He'll get there.
It does. How do you all want to do this? Is anyone wanting to share?
Well, I'm
Well-
actually quite happy to share a room.
Potentially, we could do what we did in the past. And do you have interconnecting room?
We do. We've got a pair. I will say that's 4 beds. I can have 2 more brought in for the 6 of you.
Oh, we can get 3 rooms. They
can
don't
get
all
3.
need to be interconnecting. Because if anything happens, we can just walk out into the hallway and then knock on the door of the other people. We don't have to be able to walk straight into their room,
No, it's just a convenience thing.
It's true.
Oh, I remember how I used to do that with all of my mates. I tell you, it was a great... I shouldn't get started. And you can see that some of the patrons are kind of looking over, and some of them are like smiling happily, and some of them are kind of frowning a little bit at this kind of conversation. You get the sense that Ascat doesn't very often get to indulge in adventure speak.
Well, yes, we'll take 3 double rooms then.
3 double rooms coming right up. That'll be 10 gold for each here. For each of you. Wow.
Okay.
I feel like this
Very well.
place may be quite as upmarket as it had been advertised.
And that's inclusive of the full stable service, I'm assuming?
Oh, of course. If you're welcome to tip as well. Our boy Johnny, he's. I keep saying someday he'll hit puberty, but he's been here for 2 years and I haven't seen it.
Well, you could
Well, it
just keep
sounds like it's
hoping.
halfway through.
Yeah.
Well, it's going to be a long 2 years, I tell you. But yeah, stable service is included. You'll also have your own private bathrooms on each of the other rooms. In addition, food is provided: breakfast, lunch, dinner, brunch, and after dinner service if you have any special requests.
Oh, how lovely! I really do love it here. Okay,
Yes, that
sounds
sounds
lovely to
wonderful.
me.
If you need anything, and he heads back over to the counter and comes back with a silver tray, there are 3 silver bells on the tray. Feel free to ring the bell. They're magically linked, and he motions over to the wall, and you can see there's like a board on the wall that has a whole bunch of bells listed. And you can see like 1A, 2A, 3A, 4A, 1B, 2B, and so on. And as a sample, he picks up one of the bells, and you can see 3A ding 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 rings.
Okay.
Uh, in addition, sir, I I can't help but see in your and here I kind of lean and look into his common room that you don't
Yeah.
have any in-house entertainment for the evening. Would you be? How would
Oh
you
no,
feel
they're just
about me?
they're just not here yet.
Hmm.
It's
Would you be
it's like
interested in
oh, go ahead.
hiring my services as a bard for the evening? I could perhaps play in the common room, talk up the audience into buying some more beer.
Tell you what, why don't we do an audition over lunch, and we'll see if you're a right fit for the atmosphere.
That sounds good to me.
Wonderful. Now, 6 of you look like you're nice and dusty from the road. I'll have some hot water sent up. Anybody food or drink?
I've just eaten quite a bit of chocolate, but I'm sure I'll be down for food later.
All
Yeah,
right,
Eminence
I'll-
does not mention this, but she has a bit of a tummy ache.
Wonderful. Well, if there's anything else you need, you've got the bell for your room. I recommend keeping it nearby the door just in case, so you don't forget it or lose it anywhere. They're quite expensive.
Okay, we'll definitely try not to lose the bells.
Lovely. Well, it has been a pleasure to meet all of you. If you need anything once again, and he gives like a deep bow, my name is Askat, and I look forward to being able to provide a comfortable resting place for the 6 of you.
Thank you so much for everything.
Of course. And he kind of walks off with a skip in his step.
Yeah! Aery's probably just gonna like prance upstairs and be like, oh, I can't wait for a bath.
Bed,
Yes,
a mattress.
I
Oh,
say we all go up and freshen up.
Yeah. The beds are soft and luxurious. The pillows are full and fluffy. The blankets are light and airy. Not the person, but like,
The blankets are full of Aery.
the blankets
Aery
are airy. Yes.
treats himself. I am the blanket.
Yeah.
It is a luxurious experience.
Oh,
I
wonderful.
changed my mind. I don't want to be an adventurer anymore. I just want to stay here.
Well, I mean, he did say he was once an adventurer. He earned his gold, and then he opened this establishment. Maybe that could be something we look into in the future.
Yes, perhaps. That would be nice.
We could run a fancy hotel. We could entertain. We could set all the decor exactly as we wanted.
Yes. Oh, I love it. Yes, this could be our plan.
Yes.
Maybe we can have some cute farm animals too.
Yes, like a petting zoo.
Bryn is going to like sidle up to Ori and just like whisper, are they aware that they need to be saving their money instead of buying 35 gold of chocolate if they want to retire at some point?
This is why I said that we really don't need to explain budgeting or salaries to them. They're not going to listen.
But they seem happy at least.
Let them live their little, have their fantasies. They'll get distracted by another dream in a week.
So sad, but also somehow so perfect.
Well, I
Excellent.
say once we all freshen up, perhaps we should head down to the bar area and see if anyone has seen anything strange happening around town.
And don't forget, we need to cheer on Eredan for his audition.
Yes, we've been with him for weeks and we have not heard him sing.
Wait, does he sing in the short rest or does he just play something?
He.
You're
Oh,
muted.
you're
You're
muted.
You're
muted.
muted.
Yep. Sorry. Eredan does. I have not so far, but
Oh, Eredan sings. Okay.
Okay, so we've
Yeah.
heard him.
generally he has a flute that he uses as like a spell concentration aid type thing. But yeah, that's his main instrument.
Okay.
The flute.
The toot magic flute.
Do,
Yes,
do, do,
yeah.
do.
Okay. Doot, he's a flute. Yes. So the six of you freshen up. Nice hot water is brought up to your rooms and is fed into a pipe system that rains it down from the ceiling. There are fluffy white towels that almost feel like they've been sitting in the sun, so they've still got like that residual warmth to them. You could tell a lot of effort went into this establishment. But the six of you freshen up.
Were we as like a group planning on being like staying in the city for today? We weren't planning on leaving. We're just like gonna be talking to people, were we?
I think the
I
idea
think-
was
yeah.
information gathering for today.
Yeah. Okay, because then Bryn would probably change out of her full armor into her vestments so that she's blending in more in this apparently higher society area that we are now in.
What's her outfit? I want to know.
So instead of like the full like polished white silver armor, it's like layered silver, blue, and like really pale green silks. And along the back of the vestment, it's like all embroidered with like nature, like thematic, so leaves and blooms and things like that.
I want fan art.
Yeah.
I'll work on that.
Excellent. So the six of you head back down into the common room. Eredan, do you want to do your performance now, or do you want to wait?
Sure. Yeah, I can do that. All right,
Sure.
let's get that over with.
It's probably just before lunch, so instead of keeping you in the common room, he pulls you off into like a private suite. Do the rest of you join Eredan in this?
Join like watch or join like join?
Like watch.
Oh yeah, yes,
Or
absolutely.
join if you're a part of the ensemble.
That's a good point.
Like to go
And if you play
support him.
instruments other
Yes, but no.
than
I have my
Yeah.
lyre.
I'm keen.
Do you want to play?
Cool. All right. I'd like to offer just like a little backing kind of lyre, like not to get in the way of his. He's the star.
Sure. So Ascat kind of sits down, and before you even play anything, he runs you through. This is not just your regular tavern. This is the Golden Tankard. We are the golden standard for taverns in Valater. Understand that your clientele is probably not adventurers looking for bawdy songs. So keep that in mind when picking your set list. And if you do play, I'll have you out there for 50 minutes, 10-minute break, 50 minutes, 10-minute break. Sound fair?
Sounds good.
All right. Well, why don't you give me, we'll do 3 songs and we'll go from there. So what that's going to mean is performance check, and I'll give you a plus. What is your performance modifier, Oriana?
Eminence.
Eminence. Every time.
Plus
Like, oh, no,
3.
No.
Plus 3. Then I will give you a plus 3 as well, Eredan.
Cool. Bearing in mind that I'm plus 9 already.
Yep.
All right, cool.
So that's a 15
So-
for me.
That was fuck. So 11, 20, I guess. It's a dirty 23.
Jeez. Okay. Yeah. So with a 23, you play out your first song. What do you play for him? Knowing the potential clientele.
Yeah, sure. So for sure. So given that he's given me 3 pieces to play, the first one I just I pull out something that I learnt back home. So just studying at the College of Bugs. So full on like the equivalent of like Beethoven or something, like something really highbrow, fancy, classical.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And then the second piece is just like something that people can dance to. No
So it's like
words
a
or
waltz,
anything like
I
that.
imagine. Yeah.
Yeah. And the third one is just just like a solid drinking song.
Yeah. Well, you have him on the edge of his seat for the classical song, and he's following along. You go into the waltz, and you can see him like bobbing his head happily. And then when you go into like the classic drinking song, at first he looks like I told him the clientele, but then you see him like, he's doing this for me, that son of a bitch. And he kind of like settles back and smiles and lets you play out the rest of the tune before he gives you a nice clapping. Well, color me impressed. I guess we've got ourselves a new bard for the evening. I'm afraid we're already booked for tonight, but I can have you play tomorrow.
Sounds good. I think we're going to be in the city here for a few days.
I understand. And I just want to double check. When you do something like this, because of your class background feature, you get. I know traditionally you get free housing? Or is it reduced housing?
I don't think that's in my. I didn't pick that background, so I don't think I do get away with that.
Oh, okay. Wow. Excellent. He says, well, in that case, I can give you, for a performance, I can give you, we'll call it 1 day. For every day you perform, I'll nix your cost.
Sounds good. Thank you kindly.
Looking forward to
Plus tips, of course, right?
it. 50-50.
Fair. Done.
And clasps your hand with a nice firm grip. Oh, I haven't heard that song about the sailor's daughter in years. She did have a loose leg. And he kind of walks off.
Oh god. Cool. Done.
And the 6 of you are now alone in like this side suite.
I guess we just eventually peter on out and start with the investigating.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, just
even
after that, I would
maybe-
like to whisper to Eredan, you do know I don't actually want to play for 50 minutes twice, right? I mean, you got this, yeah? That was fun, but
Yeah,
you got this.
Understood. If
Wonderful.
you want to jump in at any point for a couple of songs, though, you're perfectly welcome to.
Thank you.
I'm pretty sure that unilaterally transforms or translates into I think I'm good.
Yeah, he never needed me.
It's like when you get invited to something and you're like, yeah, okay, I'll see. And it means it just means
Yeah.
I think I'm
Try.
free.
yeah.
Understood.
Excellent. So what's everybody doing?
Who's still left in like who's still down there? Because like after we've gone up and like refreshed and then come back down into like the common space again, who's still?
I would say it's
in
been
there?
long enough. The 6 of you are all gathered together at this point.
Yeah.
Eredan has been able to play. You guys have been able to freshen up.
Oh, I meant like patrons. Are there like have the patrons are they still the same or like is in the time that we've gone up and changed and stuff? Are they?
So it is getting towards lunchtime. You can see that it is starting to fill up a little bit more. The clientele again, the clientele appears to be upper class folk. a couple of families come in as well. An elven woman with a human man and their two small half-elven children sit down at a table by the window. You can still see those two tieflings are sort of lounging back in the corners, apparently just enjoying the day. You can also see there are elven families, there are human families. Again, all relatively well off. And you get the sense that like this is the lunch destination for this neighborhood.
Does there look like there's anyone that would be open to strangers approaching them and speaking to them, or do they mainly seem like your quintessential like wealthier standoffish, like I don't want to be bothered by?
Yeah, you could always try the barkeep. So there is a guy behind the bar. You can see an elven man. Again, pressed white linen shirt, black silk vest over the top of it, and he's just making drinks and with idle conversation as people come and go. And you can see like a permanent smile is plastered to his face.
Oh god, like Stepford Wives kind of smile, where like irrespective of how bad
It's a-
his day might be going, it's
Exactly.
like the
It's a beautiful day. You are correct. Yeah.
uh-oh. Yeah, well I guess if none of the patrons look particularly approachable, she'll go to the barkeep.
Sure. He looks over again, elven features, sort of the almond-shaped eyes. You can see that his ears are just a little bit longer, and he turns towards you. Good afternoon. What might I get milady to drink?
Oh, good afternoon. I was actually wondering if there was a particular person we should seek if we were wanting information about the surrounding region.
Well, I would assume that's either Ascat or myself, and Ascat appears to be busy preparing lunch, so how can I help you? Oh, are you six the new adventurers?
We are the new adventurers. We are just,
You seem to be having some trouble with that cat there. Would you like some assistance?
Oh, no, he's really fine. It's just, multitasking training.
Yes.
Right. Well, we were looking at going into, excuse me while I extract my piece of paper from beneath my cat who is now sitting on my mouse pad.
That cat is very attractive, however, I will say.
Look,
Bit of a challenge.
it's really just making sure that you would like stay centered and stay focused and all that.
I don't know if you guys can see in Twitch chat, but like on the wide cam, there is just cat everywhere.
There's a new space on this desk, and it's free real estate as far as he's concerned. We are just wanting to go into the surrounding woods and look at we've heard about statues that just apparate out of nature and are a perfect replica of the ones that are buried there.
Yes, the Forest of Statues to the south. It's about
yeah.
half a day's travel on the main road to the south of the deep wood.
And now we hadn't, outside of Elater, really been able to get any information if there's a caretaker or anyone in particular who oversees the garden. It seems like it is quite a unique natural occurrence. So is there anyone that took particular interest and kind of oversees it?
There is a warden, yes. I don't remember her full name, but she does respond to Satina. And she is a gnome. You can find her there just about during any daylight hours.
Wonderful. And
Did you
also
lose someone in the forest? Is that...
No, but some of us have different backgrounds for academic interest, personal interest, all that kind of thing. It's a phenomenon that's not really common around the known parts, that you bury someone and then a statue of their exact
very
likeness.
unique.
Yes.
I will say it has become more and more difficult to get land in the forest nowadays. In the Forest of Statues specifically, it really has commercialized over the past few decades.
Oh, and would it be in terms of the records of who purchased land and stuff like that in the forest? Would that be Satina that would have those records?
That would be, yes. My
Oh.
grandfather is actually interred in the forest.
Oh,
He's
very interesting.
they say that we look very similar, but I don't get it. His cheekbones are much more pronounced.
Well, thank you so much for your help. Also, just any, places that we're visiting we really should go and see while we're here?
Of course. Well, there is the theater district that has a fantastic showing of the Fall of Tiamat that I absolutely adore. There are several nicer restaurants if you're interested in elven food. That is our primary specialty within Valetair. Have you been to Valetair? You said this was your first time within the city?
Yes, I believe it's all of our first time into the city, although some of us may have visited once or twice before.
Excellent. Well, we do have some Andapoli cuisine towards the south end of town. There's a small little outpost over there. We've also got some Ulsonites as well, if you're interested in that type of food. I would recommend particularly, we will call it the Harrington Estates. They specifically specialize in high-end Valetair cuisine. All vegetarian, of course.
Oh, of course. And also the Pator family, the night ship, are they still residing within the city?
Yes, King Arnold is still residing within the city. Should he not be?
Oh, no, we just met someone, we're not familiar with night ships in the area. Well, I am vaguely familiar with the name. It would be nice to put, as a fellow knight, a name to the face. We did meet a lovely older woman who was flying their colors, who spoke fondly of them.
It's good to see that he's continuing to do good deeds for the neighboring areas. Sometimes the Pator family doesn't mesh so well with the El Romeor, but we make do.
Right, so sorry, just play a question. You said King Arnold is still residing, but his full name was Arnold Lupo, but he's affiliated with the Pator family.
So I got that wrong. I forgot that I gave you his last name, and I also honestly forgot that I wrote it down. So when I saw it in my notes, I was like, I don't really like how that sounds, so I changed it. But
So
Pator, we'll go with Pator. Yeah,
okay,
it's
we
Pator.
can just change it to Lupo. Lupo is the night ship family instead.
Yeah,
okay.
we'll call
so
it,
instead of Lupo, Pator, it is now Lupo.
Lupo, yeah.
Okay. So that just like
I
fixes my
honestly
confusion.
forgot that I wrote it down, and then you mentioned it, and I was like, shoot, they do remember.
I remember any seemingly insignificant detail I'll remember. Blatant details I'll forget, but the little things I'll never forget.
Yeah. Because I was like looking through my notes, I was like, I don't think I've mentioned his last name. I don't like how it sounds. I think I can change it. It's fine.
Okay, so the night ship, like, so it's his family that.
Yes, it is the royal family that started the line. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, well, thank you so much for your help. I'm sure that if we need any more dinner or bar or entertainment recommendations, we'll come back and see you.
Excellent. Is there anything else I can help you with? A drink, perhaps? I can sign you up for the duck.
I think that we will convene as a group and see where we're going from there, because I don't want to order a drink and then we're heading straight out.
I know how that feels. And you can see that he's kind of like slipping back into like the stepwives, like, yes, I understand what you're saying. Well,
yes,
I hope you have a fantastic day.
I also hope that you have a fantastic day. Thank you so much. And your name was again, I'm sorry?
Tact.
Well, thank you so much, Tact.
Pleasure. And your name?
Brynjael the Eredan.
Brynjael the Eredan. I will remember that.
And Bryn will walk back to the group. So I have a little bit of interesting information, which definitely didn't click before, and now I'm really feeling like I should have brought it up. But the king is part of that night ship that Grandma Maya in Forwatch was flying the colors of. And according to Tact, he's still reigning over the township or city. So I guess the populace don't seem to think like anything is particularly odd going on.
I wonder how many people know.
Yes, did he even mention the statue?
He didn't. Well, he asked me, and I just kind of didn't really know if I should bring up that we're looking into that because that might strike someone as a bit odd. But he did give me the name of the warden, Satina, and she should have a record. Apparently, they actually sell off the plots of land, so she should have a record of anyone that's purchased land in there.
Maybe we could buy some.
Yes.
I mean, I prefer not to prepare yet for me being dead, but I mean, it's maybe a worthwhile investment.
You know, it has to happen eventually. No, nothing
And I
wrong.
mean, when I die, I would like to have I always imagined myself as having a statue.
Well, if we don't buy plots of land and you die before me, I will make your statue anyway. Well, like, I mean, I won't make it, but you know, I'll pay someone to make it.
Commission it.
Yeah.
Let's shake on it. I will make you a statue if you die.
Okay, let's do it. And, yeah, we
What
should have-
pose would you like to be in?
I don't know, something. Maybe dancing?
I would like to be voguing.
Incredible.
Just your statue absolutely cutting shapes.
Yeah.
Right, so I mean, we kind of have. Oh, it's a half day travel as well to get through to the Forest of Statues. So, if we're wanting to go with good daylight hours, if we just leave in the morning tomorrow, it'll only take. If we leave just before first light, we'll get there to midday and we'll be able to come back while there's still light, hopefully.
That
Sounds
lovely.
good. Yes,
That
I
sounds
think we
good.
should definitely make a priority of speaking to this Satina.
What was that, Oriana?
Yeah, I just said I like the plan.
Oh, you like something we said?
I
I
don't like
think that
something.
I
you said.
actually said it.
Well, but we agreed, and usually she disagrees with us.
I disagree quite often with your own ideas. I think I disagree quite strongly with a voguing statue. Although,
When you die, your statue can be doing whatever you wish.
Probably scowling.
I mean,
Yes,
it would be appropriate.
with her arms crossed.
Yeah, or maybe like
Disapproving
pointing down.
Next to the
whoever's
two
looking.
statues that have been
Yeah.
made of the two of
Mm.
you.
Yes, and everybody will enjoy our statues and cover them with flowers and gifts, and your statue will be cold and lonely.
I wouldn't have had to have paid for my own, however. Let's continue.
Did anyone have any general shopping that they were needing to do? I believe we still have a decent amount of potions, things like that. Or if anyone was needing any magical supplies, it's quite a large town. They might have some decent shopping here. There's also apparently the Fall of Tiamat is playing in the theater district at the moment.
Oh, it's been so long since I've seen a play.
Is there any kind of decent armor shop that I would be able to visit in this town? Maybe magical?
Sure, yeah. So the sure.
And am I rich enough? All right. So I would like to go and first of all, do you think I'm rich enough? I don't know. It seems to vary from campaign to campaign how much stuff costs, and we've not bought serious stuff
We
yet.
won't
So I
know
don't know.
until we look at the store.
It depends how
That's
charming
true.
we are to the barkeep or the shopkeep.
That's true. All right. So I'd like to purchase some leather armor. Did any of you see anything on the way up here that look like they might? I didn't notice. If not, I might have to go around and have a bit of a look.
Did we see any on the way?
On this side of town, no, you did not.
It's okay. We can go and have a look.
Sounds good.
Your general knowledge of the town, you would get the sense that most of the mercantile districts are probably on the south end, near the lumber mills, where the primary work is done. You guys are on the north end of town, which is largely residential.
Is there any more like upmarket, like kind of the closer we are to this residential district, does it tend to translate as being more upmarket shops, like boutique
Yes,
versus like practicality,
absolutely.
or like
Yeah, this is definitely the boutique. Like you walk into a place that sells specifically cloaks, and there are only 6 cloaks on display.
And if you have to ask how much it is, you can't afford it.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, that's not really what we want. Might have to.
It's like you walk into a place and you're like, I want a jacket, so they hand you a menu, and you're like, what?
They just hand you a piece of paper and you open it and says you can't afford it, please leave.
Oh my god,
Amazing.
amazing.
Love it. So what's the plan?
All right.
I mean, you could
So
go and ask Tack. He seems very nice and very knowledgeable about the area.
That's
Well,
true. All right, I might go and try that. Or sorry, what were you gonna say?
Oh no! Like you can do that. This is like out of character. So like, what are our goals here? So we are looking for armor for you. We need information, but like, what specific information are we looking for?
So we know how long it will take to get there. We know who to ask for when we get there. We know kind of like with asking about records and things like that.
Mhm.
I don't think pertinent to this particular kind of like thing that we're investigating. I mean, we could be asking, it might be like the more common folk would have like probably actually be gossiping and like talking about happenings in the forest. I don't know if like all the rich people, it's probably beneath them to talk to us about any
Yeah, it would
mysterious
be
things
hard
going
to
on.
ask after like the health of the king
Yeah.
without being extremely suspicious.
I wonder if these people are setting up an assassination attempt.
Yeah. Has he been strange lately?
I mean,
well.
the people that are actually like working really hard to make a living and stuff would probably be more open about their feelings to like the
but also
royalty in the
less
area
likely-
as well. And if anything sus is going on versus like the rich being like, oh yes, marvelous, darling, why do you ask?
But they'll also be less likely to know is the thing.
But they
The
might know
rumor
like
is
they
really
could've-
strong though.
Yeah, they might know like, oh yeah, they've been like raising taxes or like any bad things that kind of like the rulers of the area are doing versus like if the rich, they might be like affiliated. Like we can ask both, but it's probably good to ask like around the more working areas as well.
So we should go to the armor place. Do we need to go to the theater district then? I mean, it would be nice, but
that's kind of that could be on the back burner if we have time.
Well,
and
theater
I
district
mean-
though, you would imagine that like that would be kind of like a blend of people.
Yeah.
Like you'd have like your working class, but you'd also have like a mixture of all sorts of people there. It'd be the best place to find everyone. You would feel.
And if we go shopping for Eredan's armor, and anyone else who wants to pick something up, and then we swing by the theatre district, it's going to be getting a little bit later. People might be a bit looser, might have had a few drinks, you know, coming out of shows and things.
Like, I guess if we just, basically, if we're walking places, we just keep our ears open.
Definitely.
Did anyone want to look for a magic shop? Did anyone want to get potions or had anything in particular they were looking for as well?
I don't have any particular items, but Eminence is always happy to window shop, so she'll go with anyone who does.
I don't have any reason to look for anything at the moment, I don't think.
Not looking for
Aery
potions.
also would love to window shop.
so we'll be asking some like a mixture of like maybe if we ask like the like lower class people first for rumors and then we could follow up with like richer people who might know
Yeah.
and find the right way to ask questions.
Or even if we
Yeah,
just
that
like
sounds like a good plan.
fly on a wall in a bar or something
Mm.
until we get some idea.
Yeah.
Feel a vibe.
Okay.
I don't know. You know, like I would imagine it's the equivalent of like, you know, when the bunch of uni students are sitting around complaining about like Trump or something, like, you know, you kind of like get an idea.
Okay. I'm keen.
So let's go eavesdrop around town.
Once we get armor.
Yes.
Yeah, that's true.
Let's go to the armor shop. I don't know where that would be. but
Yeah, I don't
I'm
know
guessing
where
we
it
can work
is.
that out pretty quickly.
Do you just want to wander around? Do you want to ask somebody?
I guess we at least ask Tact, I suppose. Like, as in, because he's
Yeah,
super
let's
friends.
ask. Let's ask him first.
Good afternoon, sir. Can I get you a drink?
Thank you, but no, thank you. I'm looking to upgrade my current leather armor. Do you know of any such store in the city, or what would be good for an adventurer? I'm not after dress armor. I need it to be effective.
Of course, yes. Nothing comes to mind. And you hear shouting from the back. Askat, go to Isarts!
What?
It's arts, you said?
Isart! With an R.
Yes. Yeah. Yep. Sounds good. Excellent. Thank you. Which part of the city is that in?
It's
And
down to the south in the Merchant District. Merchant? What?
All right, cool. So
Yeah, it could just
I
be
sit
like
down
a
with him and
thing for the city.
get some detailed directions, and we can go from there. Sorry, I just
Tact
because you
does
missed.
not provide any detailed instructions, and Askat does not come out. He is roasting a duck.
All right.
I
I'll
will
ask
say
around
for
when I
this,
get to the
yeah,
merchant
for
area.
the sake of time, you're able to ask around, and once you get out of like the nice area of town, a couple of people are like, "Oh, Isarts? Yeah, I know Isarts," and they guide you to the general area. Are
Cool.
the six of you going now, or do you have any other plans?
I think we
Pretty much.
talking about having a break before we head out.
Not
Is
like
it
in
like
Yeah.
actual break?
So that we have plenty of room for shenanigans once we go on
Shenaniganery.
break.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sure. Yes. Let's have a break. This is a great spot.
Okay.
Alrighty.
So it is 12:16 at my location, which is 16 on the clock. So what do you guys think? A 14-minute break, or
I think we can survive on 14 minutes.
Yeah.
I'm happy to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
we'll do it?
Alright.
So at the 30 or at the hour for whatever time zone you're currently in.
Cool.
Awesome. See you
Bye,
soon,
guys.
everybody.
Catch you soon.
We back.
Welcome back,
Whoa.
everyone. We're back. Sorry for the delay. 17 minutes turned into more than that, and that is totally on me. I apologize completely and wholeheartedly. That said, let's roll some dice and do things. We haven't rolled a lot of dice this session.
No, we have already had a nat 20 and a nat 1 though.
We've covered the range. That's right. Yeah, let's fix that. Roll for initiative.
Oh no.
We're gonna be punching on with aristocrats and stuff.
Yeah, I know.
I like looking at everyone's webcams as everyone like checks. Is like, is Dom serious? Is that his?
Yeah, I know.
No. So you have left the golden. No, you're going to leave the golden tankard now. Yes.
Yeah.
Heading to Iserts.
Yes.
Yeah, the armor place, yes.
Yeah, so I would
Yep.
assume we'd be following Eredan because he was the one that got the directions for where we're going.
Yes.
So-
Heading
let's
down
just-
to the. Oh, go ahead.
No, it's alright. I think the delay is making us pause and then stop and let the other person talk over and over and over. Sorry. Shut up.
No, it's totally you. That's why I said go ahead. What's up?
No, I haven't. Go.
Go into the shops.
Okay, you're going to the shop. Heading down to the south end of town, you pass by the central keep that houses that sort of spiraling stone tower that you saw from so far away. And you can see that this keep, very ornate architecture. You can see that there are stone walls within the city that separate the keep from the outer areas. There are guards posted on the walls of this keep as well. And as you pass by, you can see that there are iron gates that are currently open, and the interior of this keep appears to be a hubbub of activity. This is the central location that the guards go to. This is the central military force of the town and the area. You also get that this is the seat of power as well, as it's not just guards, it's guards in gleaming pauldrons. It's guards with freshly polished breastplates. This is deliberately kept upscale and nice, as opposed to you can very clearly sense the decorum and honorifics that would accompany a knighthood present here. But passing by those gates, you continue to travel through several districts before you do arrive at the merchant district. I do like merchant better. It does sound cooler. And navigating your way towards the sign on Brasserk Lane, you find Isert's Armory. The shop is a single-story building of iron and stone, and you can see a small dragon's skull is hanging from the front, like a small wormling. And the door is currently open.
All right. So in I go, and I walk up to the person manning the store, and I go, "Hello. I need some replacement light armor. This set I've got doesn't fit very well, and it's not really solid enough for the things that I'm starting to run into. What have you got?"
Oh, pleasure. It's nice to meet you. My name is Isert, and you see a male halfling, probably only about 3.5, maybe 4 foot tall. And he kind of looks up at you. He's got a bit of a scraggly beard, and well, light armor. We've got some bucklers. I've got a chain shirt, if that could work. Our stock is a bit on the heavier side. Studded leather armor, but it's a bit more expensive studded leather armor.
Studded leather sounds good.
Yes.
What would I be
The-
looking at for a
Well, the variation that we currently have is +3 with fire resistance.
That's pretty solid.
And he steps over towards one of the side walls, and you can see the studded leather armor is like on a mannequin. You can see these ornate engravings sort of crisscrossing in like a flame design, as there are like different fires going up the shoulders.
Sick.
There is a price tag on it,
Yeah.
and you kind of look at the tab, and then I can only imagine how Eredan responds. The price is 27,175.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that's not happening. Right, cool. Understood.
It is enchanted twice. It is +3 and fire resistance, which is very effective.
It is very effective. However, that is well outside my price range at the moment.
I see.
Do you have
That's-
anything simpler?
Yeah, maybe
I'm
even
afraid I don't do simple armor. Everything in here, any kind of motions around, is enchanted in some way.
yeah. Okay. What? Well, let me put it this way. What's the bottom tier we're looking at here? What's the cheapest thing you have in your shop?
Well, we have this darkwood shield, and he steps over, and you can see a masterwork shield painted with a coat of arms of the Lupo / Pator family. And this will run you 257 gold.
What do I even have? I'm pretty sure I can't afford that. Just let me double check. I definitely cannot. Thank you for your time, sir. I am sorry to have troubled you. I will return when I am a little bit more in the money.
I understand, and I look forward to seeing you then.
In the meantime, you wouldn't be able to point us towards perhaps an armory that doesn't deal with enchantments? It's not really what we need at the moment, but I'm sure, as we progress. We are
Of
still
course.
quite new to adventuring.
Yes, I understand completely. There is a shop just down the way. Let me see.
Oof, 27,000.
That's a whole lot.
There is just like a basic blacksmith just down the street who can hook you up with like basic metal armor. There's a leatherworking, a tanning place next door.
So like nothing in between like the most basic and like $2,000 armor.
$27,000 armor.
You can look
Yeah,
for like the
Yeah.
+1 enchanted armor at like the middle shops, the medium shops.
Yeah, maybe I can
But
try that.
those are still
even-
going to run you like 1,000 gold.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Some basic stuff.
I mean, if you get a nicely crafted set of leather armor, we can always look at enchantments in the future. Once you have the armor, there's many possibilities for later down the road.
That's true, but look, even non-magical studded leather armor would be better than what I have at the moment. So surely that standard blacksmith would be able to help me out there.
Or the tannery,
Yeah.
if you're looking for leather.
All right. Let's try that then. I reckon.
Yeah. So what specifically are you looking for? You'll probably be able to buy armor at market price from the D&D book.
Yeah. So I just want plain studded leather armor, and I
Sure.
think it's listed as like 10
say it's
gold or 20 gold or
50?
something.
Studded? No, studded's like 50. 45 for studded leather.
Yeah, that sounds good. That I can cover, and I'll try and hock off my old plain leather armor at the same time.
He will take off 1 gold for the scraps.
Cool, no worries.
Yeah, so go ahead and mark off 44 gold.
Yep. And I will change my inventory for the armor. Sick. Thanks, everyone.
Sure.
My
Is there
God.
anything else anyone wants?
No, probably not a place like this.
Okay. What is Aery looking for?
Maybe just like a nice, like embellished, like cloak pin.
Oh,
Yeah.
Down the same line, if there's like some, like Bryn would still be looking for a scarf. So if they
Gotcha.
would kind of be in a similar vicinity, scarves and then cloak pins and things like that.
Sure. So on the southern end of town, this is largely like the work and adventurers district. You get the sense that this isn't exactly the like fine goods sort of area. From north to south, you've got like the nice area, the sort of middle class area in the middle, and then the working class area to the south. So
Yeah, like it can just sort of be like a passive thing, not like a looking right now sort of.
Gotcha. Sure. Sweet.
In
Yeah,
passive
I'll say you're probably
looking-
able to find. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry. I was just gonna say, in like passive looking, I would like to look for like a tattoo shop.
Yeah, you find tattoo parlors. Absolutely.
Okay, so like along the way, fairly easy. Can I get like some idea of like pricing? It's not something I'm looking to do today, but it's something I'm looking
Sure.
into.
Yeah, so tattooing before tattoo machines
Mhm.
was a very time-intensive process. So you get the sense that the cost is probably going to be a little bit on the higher side because
Yeah.
of the time cost involved. So depending on how intricate or involved you want the tattoo, it could range anywhere from a couple of gold for a few hours to 50 to 100 gold if you wanted something a bit more involved over a few days.
Okay.
Because time spent tattooing you on something big is time spent not tattooing other people on small
Yeah.
things.
I guess more I'm like looking like maybe an hourly rate, roughly.
Sure. Again, it probably comes down to the artists themselves and what you're looking for.
Right. I'll just bank it in the memory banks for now.
Sure. You get the sense that for like a basic tattoo, it's probably going to be around 2 to 4 gold an hour.
Yep.
And that cost is highly variable on the complexity of the tattoo and the rate of the artist.
Yeah, fair. I guess while I'm banking as well, is there anything that like immediately stands out to me? You know when like you vibe with a place and you're just like, yes, that looks like somewhere I want to go.
So you do see a parlor that literally just looks like a dive, like big window that just says tattoo and that's it. You see like people are standing outside and they're smoking. They're doing tattoo parlor things. Let me just stereotype all of tattooing. But then you also do see, as you head a little bit back north, you do see like a little bit of a finer area that has softer tables and beds for people to lay on for the more intricate work. You can see that the employees there do wear fine leather gloves to keep their hands from coming into contact with the tattoo or rubbing into the wound after puncturing over and over. That looks a little bit more upscale. I don't know a lot about tattoo parlors.
No, that's fair. I guess I'm more like, you know, is there like a name of a shop or something that I'm like, oh yeah, that sounds cool, but you probably haven't thought about it and I'm putting you entirely on the spot. So I can pretend I find something.
There was the place called Tattoo. There's another place called Harlan's Designs.
Okay.
Have I used that name before? I don't
think so. You've used Harrington, not
And also,
Harlan.
in the real world, there are definitely places that have the same name.
That's also true.
Also true. I just don't want to like, this NPC's name is Jeff, and this other NPC's name is also Jeff. They are not brothers.
Well, it would be weirder
if they
brothers.
were.
Yeah.
That's a good point, yeah.
So
Okay,
Harlan's
now they are
Tattoos is what you said.
Harlan's Designs.
Design, sorry. And that one seems to be the one where they're using like gloves and stuff.
Yeah. You can also see like designs on the wall and like fine art and drawings of different plants, different flowers. You do have your token butterflies and dolphins. But in addition, you also have like dragons and stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm most interested in like kind of the animal one. So I will, again, that will be the one that I go like, I remember that. It's like this corner, like mark it on my mental map.
Yep. Harlan's Designs. Sweet. As you get up towards the nicer districts area, you are able to find a place that sells cloaks, and as an aside, they also sell brooches for the cloaks. They are pre-designed, and you can see that many of them are like prefabricated and that they are handmade. However, you also get the sense that you could ask, and they might be able to commission a custom one.
Are there any like silver ones with like green or blue accents?
This is a town primarily composed of elves and half elves. So absolutely.
Okay.
Well, yeah, you're able to find a brooch
like
that has, like, exactly. Are you looking for like a leaf? Are you looking for like vines that are like intertwined? Are you looking for just like a stylistic swoosh? Almost like a Nike kind of thing.
Something a bit fancy, but not too fancy, I suppose.
Okay, you do see one that is, it almost looks like an eye. It's like a small little green eye in the center, and then it sort of swirls out into blue and then silver, and it looks like they've kind of blended the metal together.
Yeah, that's pretty. I want that one. How much is
Yeah.
it?
Sweet. That'll be 5 gold.
Oh, yeah, easy. Okay. Okay, let me remove that from my
I just want you guys
gold.
to know, like, gold is high currency here. Like, you guys are rolling.
Yeah, I think just like after the armor, I just expected it to be more.
But also, yeah.
Yeah.
Also, I think, like, you know, we want to consider our purchases as something we're going to have to deal with for the rest of the campaign. So, like,
Considering purchases is not really something Aery does.
well, it's maybe something that Natalie does.
Yeah.
Give it a single week, and then Aery's gonna be like, "Can I borrow some money?"
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
We
He'll
just
just
have to
wanted
get
his
to the stage
eyelashes
where
at
we
the
can
shopkeep.
He has an inheritance. He's fine.
take out a dragon.
Yeah, that's the solution. Yeah, find a dragon horde, split it.
What
I
if
mean,
we
it
could
works
just
for.
convince them to give us money? I don't want to kill a dragon.
You can't we friend the dragon?
Yeah.
Dragon doesn't want to kill you, but that's a problem for less delicious people.
We just bring some more delicious people with us. No, that's not something Natalie would do, but still.
You want to have another run at that, or shall we just move on?
There we go. Well, let's go. Let's go.
You are able to find a place, Bryn,
Yes.
that specializes in fine silks, cloaks, robes, headwear, and they do have a variety of scarves.
Okay. Is there anything she's wanting a scarf, and it can be really any size, from like a pashmina to like a normal neck scarf, but
Mhm.
she's wanting it to be silver and ideally with like lilies or similar flower embroidery.
Gotcha. So I'm gonna say they probably don't have something like that by default. They have scarves that do have flower embroidery in it, and they do have scarves that have silver inlay, but you do not find one that has both. You get the sense that you could probably commission it. Might take some time and take a little more effort, but it's doable.
Yeah, she'll speak to someone about that.
Sure. There is a half-elven woman, and she's wearing like this fine silk gown, and she's got her hands tucked into the robes and approaches. And yes, dear.
Oh, hello. I was just wanting to get a scarf commissioned actually while we're in town.
Of course. What are you interested in?
Well, I'm looking. Are they like bolts of silk? Like, are they openly commissioned, or they just have garments on display?
So these are the garments that she has on display. You get the sense that she probably works with a number of different tailors to actually make the clothing itself.
Okay, so she's going to point at like one of the garments that has like the silver inlay, like silver detailing. I'm wanting the scarf to predominantly be this kind of color, but then I'm also wanting it to have this kind of embroidery, and she'll find like a lily-esque flower on something
Sure.
else. And like,
Yeah. She looks at the two and, oh, that is an interesting combination. I think we could arrange something like this. Allow me just a moment to run the numbers. Are you looking for just a standard neck scarf? Something a bit larger?
well, I
Perhaps a matching robe?
no, I don't think the robe will be necessary. But I mean, maybe on the larger side for the sizing.
I understand. So perhaps 3/4 of a meter? 1 meter?
Maybe going like a traditional like pashmina size, so like a 1.2, 1.5 meter.
Of course. I, the shopkeeper, know exactly what you're talking about. Allow me to run some numbers real quick. The silver thread is quite difficult to twist without breaking, so just a moment. And she goes into the back and runs some numbers. I am going to run some numbers.
I was hoping silver would be easy because it's like spider silk. That's naturally like white.
Yeah, so white is easy, but reflective silver that can
That's true.
bend and move is very, very difficult. Especially when you take that thread and like the silver ones that are there are just like the generic silver lines in them, you know, where have you guys seen like those metallic clothing, I guess, where it's like a flat gray and then it's got the silver threads. It's kind of like that. It's not super ornate. Yeah, she comes back and she says, I think we can do it. I've never done designs like this with our silver thread, but give me 2 days
That
to
should
see what I can put together. As an estimate, I'm afraid you're going to be quite disappointed with the price because I am trying something new. I am going to ballpark it at about 20 gold.
that should be fine. Did you want me to put a deposit down of like a half of the cost or something like that now, and then I can pay the rest later? Did you want me to pay up front?
If you would like to pay up front, you can pay up front. If you can, we would request at least half as a deposit.
No problem. And she will give the full amount.
Okay, sweet. So go ahead and mark off 20 gold, and in 2 days, come back and we'll see if she's able to make that scarf.
It's like a real gamble with like, I don't know if this will work. It's like, sure, what could go wrong?
Yeah. I'll just stow it in the chest with all my smut.
Yes. Perfect.
Is there anything else anyone wants?
Nope.
Lots of head nodding no.
Shall we wander towards the theatre district?
To the theatre, darlings.
To the
To the theatre. The theatre.
I hope we are all appropriately dressed for attending the theatre.
We are
Yes.
always appropriately dressed.
Yeah, so you head to the northeastern side of town towards the theater district, and it's less of a district and more of a street, kind of like a Broadway style thing. And this sort of large central street runs diagonally to the northeast to the southwest, and on both sides you can see amphitheaters. And instead of these amphitheaters rising up out of the ground, they have been dug down into the ground. So walking at street level, if you peer over the crowds, you can sort of angle down and see the amphitheater below. And you can see that there are a handful of smaller productions. There is Hamlet. There is oh gosh, what's another one? A Midsummer Day's Day.
Dogs.
Very high-end production.
Yeah, that's a satire, actually. You do also see Transformers.
Wait, which one? Like Transformers like 9 or like the
Oh,
original?
the dinosaurs.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one uses actual doppelgangers. So it's actually very compelling.
Damn.
You do see
It's just a maid making explosions over and over and over.
and just lens flare, so much lens flare.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do see there is one that is showing the fall of Tiamat. You do see the rise of the Northern Hero. Why am I listing off these plays? You guys aren't here to watch plays. You're here to talk to people. What do you want?
Little do you know, we're clearly here to watch
Yeah.
plays.
We're just gonna. We would like to see A Midsummer's Day's Day in its entirety.
I think also like the sort of play would kind of like change the audience, right? So if we're looking for a certain sort of audience, we would choose that based
That's
on
actually fair.
I
Yeah.
mean, we should probably look in the Transformers audience.
Yeah, I think
maybe.
Transformers.
Yeah, I think so.
Because either be
So-
degenerates or children, and we can just ignore the children.
True.
Amazing.
I'd say we would sort of like mill around at near the exit, I suppose, of the play and wait for people to filter out afterwards. See if we
Yeah.
can pick up on any conversation.
Do you guys have Streetwise in 5e?
I don't think
Or is
so.
that 4e?
I don't think that's a thing I've ever heard.
Does
before.
not ring a bell, so.
I also think if it was a thing, none of us would have it.
Hey,
Our
hey.
eminence would be like -10.
Yeah. So if
For yourself.
I tell you what, why don't you guys let me know what you were looking for, and then I'll have you make investigation checks to see what you were able to get from talking to people based off of these different crowds, and knowing that you're going to like different groups of people may add modifiers to your score.
I would like to look for rowdy young drunk.
Yeah, that's a Midsummer Day's Day. It is a satire. It is very bawdy. It is all about slapstick humor, and the crowd is just digging it. And then intermission rolls up. You can see the actors clap themselves on the face one final time before curtain comes on down, and people start milling out to go get food and drinks from the stands. What? So I imagine you're probably going to approach multiple people to ask questions. What are you trying to find out?
All right, I'd like to grab Aery by the arm and kind of ha ha ha, like as if we've just also left a great show.
Yeah.
Oh, that was hilarious, darling. It reminds me of that thing I heard about the king.
Oh, what was it you heard about the king?
Well, I heard. I'll look around, see if anyone is paying attention to us.
A couple of people are like half listening as they're going about their own conversations. Nobody seems particularly engaged.
I heard there was a statue of him appearing in the forest recently.
Oh, how spooky.
I know. Again, just
like watching for people's reactions.
Yeah. Why don't you guys make a performance check? I'll let one of you do it with advantage, or both of you can do it.
Oh, I thought that was a nat 1. It's a 7.
I have pretty good performance. So
Okay. Would you like to do it with advantage?
Yeah, let's do that. I don't trust you.
You shouldn't.
That's a 10 and a 17, and I have +4, so 21.
21, yeah. There's a guy next to you, and what do you mean there's a statue of the king?
Well, it was just a rumor, and we are from out of town, so I don't know, like, exactly what it's supposed to happen, but I thought that your forest was only full of statues of dead people, but the king is alive, no?
Oh, yeah, he's alive.
Then how could there
And
be a statue of him in the forest? Much
maybe
too
it's
sad.
maybe people are thinking about the statue of his brother, Bernard.
Do they look very similar?
Yeah, just Bernard died 10 years ago, so younger.
This statue appeared recently.
Or so we have heard.
Oh, yes.
Okay,
You
maybe it was
haven't
somebody
heard
else.
anything about this?
No.
Well,
Hey, did y'all see that part where he took the wooden beam and swung it at the other guy?
Oh, yes, that
Yeah,
was
we saw that.
hilarious.
Oh man, it gets me every time.
Yeah, so everything seems normal in this town. Like, you haven't heard any rumors about like the king, like the royal family, or like anything like that? Nothing seems strange.
I mean, not as much as normal, you know.
Oh, please tell us what normal means. Again, like my friend here said, we are out of towners. We don't exactly know what things are like here. Like,
Oh, very
the
fascinating.
town we come from, though, the king is awful. The entire royal family just
Horrible.
terrible.
Oh, that does sound tragic. I mean, it's
Is it
just normal
different here?
stuff like kids being abducted by pterodactyls, and
Oh,
you know, the whole government is secretly run by wolf people, and
Wolf
that the forest is actually moving, but I haven't seen it. I can't believe it. I'd be more inclined to believe the pterodactyl thing.
Have you seen a pterodactyl ever?
No.
Huh.
Have
Well,
you?
that's disappointing. I don't think so. I've seen some pretty big birds, though.
But birds can't carry children.
It depends how big they are, you know?
Uh,
And how small the child is.
Yes,
Even
you could for a baby.
or even like a gnome child. They're pretty small.
could have been a gnome.
Ah.
There you go.
Anyway, you think about that. And
Hey,
you are
hey,
going
Jeff!
walking.
And you see, starts hollering across the crowd.
We have started something on it. Well, that wasn't very helpful at all.
No, he did mention the forest, though. That seems to
Yes.
be a persistent rumor.
True.
Forest is moving. Well, shall we go see where the others have gone?
Yes, maybe they turned up something better than we did.
Sure. Who else wants to look for information?
I'd just like to find the rowdiest like place dive thing. And kind of like position myself against a wall near a crowd that seems to have been there for a while, you know, so they've gotten out like the pleasantries of like, how you been, how you going, and they're getting into like the deep shit.
Gotcha. Yeah, so you're able to find like a dive bar pretty easily. There are plenty of bars and restaurants in the theater district as well. This one is called the Bottom Beetle. And this dive is pretty cramped. It's sort of like a long, narrow affair, and you're able to sort of wedge yourself up into the wall. You situate yourself behind a group of people that appear to have been sitting there for a while, and they're kind of speaking seriously to each other, like, "Gosh, I don't know what we're gonna do." And the other one, "Yeah, it's wild, isn't it? I mean, I knew him for so long. I can't imagine something like that happening to me." "Yeah, well, they say it's more common than you'd think." The other one, "Gosh, so he's been faking magic this whole time." "Yeah, never could cast any spells. He always had somebody behind him."
Fucking magic.
You say that out loud?
I mean, I'm whispering it to myself, but sure. Like, I'd imagine that I'm like looking like the grumpy elder person here. I've got like a drink in my hand, and I'm like got my arms crossed, and I'm like leaning against the wall, just like fucking magic.
Yeah, the guy in the back's
I
like,
really-
"Yeah, that's right." What type of information are you looking for?
Basically, I'm trying to get like a sense of like, is there anything going on that seems suspicious, that seems to be related to the royal family, or like anything to do with royalty? Like,
Sure.
perhaps there are increased taxes, or maybe they've randomly shut down a district or something, or there's like areas that aren't being able to be like, I'm looking for stuff that is related specifically to the royal, like the Lupo family.
Yeah. I'll have you make a investigation check.
Okay, I'm not so good at these, so let's see how this goes. That's a 6.
6 total.
Yeah, that's
Yep,
6
yeah.
total. I rolled 4.
Total. People are generally happy. Quality of life is good. That's all you get with a 6.
Yeah, that's fair.
Sorry.
I
Yeah.
just enjoy my drink for a bit. Like, feel like I'm contributing. Just like, you know, oh, okay, there's nothing wrong. That kind of thing. And
Yeah.
then we'll eventually move out.
Yeah, as far as you can tell, there's nothing like outrageous.
Yeah, cool.
That's causing conversation like this. Anyone else?
So I want to try and. Oh, you go, Mel.
No, I was just going to say I'm still trying to think of something that Oriana would be good at in order to try and find some
She
information.
doesn't have to be good at it.
Yeah, so
I did something I'm
we
not
can
good
definitely
at.
do
I'll
this.
buy you some more time.
We can definitely do this a little bit more freeform, like we did the chase scene away from the mayor's house. If there's something that you want to try to use to try to get information that you think your character would be good at, totally fine with it. So we'll just let you simmer on that. But go ahead, Eredan.
So I want to try and sneak backstage and see if I can make friends with the actors and find out if they've heard anything.
Yeah, of course.
'Cause they're doing this performance constantly, right? So they would have
Yeah.
heard the audience whispering, muttering for weeks and weeks.
Yeah. Which play are you trying to get into?
All right. So what of whichever would have like the general appeal audience?
It's probably
Like-
like the rise of the Northern Hero or the fall of Tiamat. Those are like
All
the
right, I'll go
general heroic
Yeah.
stories.
I'll go for the Fall of Tiamat.
Gotcha. Go ahead and make a deception check to get backstage. You are accosted by a bouncer as you try to make your way back.
11 plus. Excellent. 17.
Oh boy. 17 was a lot. Yeah, with a 17, you're able to bluff your way past this bouncer. And he seems suspicious, but he does let you pass. And you find yourself backstage at sort of like the bottom level of this amphitheater. There is like a side entrance for staff that you went through. You can see that there is a changing room. There's all your standard stuff. You've got your curtains in the front. You've got very elaborate lighting rigs that are set up. You can see that people are running to and fro, trying to make sure that this show goes off without a hitch. People, like 5 people run, each with a different colored dragon head, like on top of their body, like the Chinese dragon style.
Amazing.
They just like run past, and you can see the red dragon like bumps into the wall and like rotates and keeps going. But yeah, you're in the back. Go ahead and make a investigation check with advantage.
So the first one was a natural one, so I'm real glad you said advantage.
Yep. Second one's a cat.
Sorry, no, close. The second one fell off the table and was battered by the cat, so I think I'm just gonna have to roll that again. I'm really sorry.
Sure.
5 plus 5, so 10.
10. Again, 10 is not a huge amount. The only information that you're able to get is like taxes are high, but people are happy. The quality of like, I guess the best way that I can put it is it's like California. Shit's expensive, but that's because it's pretty good shit.
Yep. Okay. Cool. All right.
Like rent's a little high, food's a little expensive, that sort of thing.
Can I see any of like the cast's dressing rooms or anything?
Yes, there is one. There are 2 dressing rooms, men and women's.
Yeah. So just I'm gonna go for the dudes one, so I'm not
Yep.
being a pervert, and I'm just gonna look around and see if there's
It's
any
theater.
props nearby. Anything. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fair. Yep.
Yeah.
Grab any prop I can find, and then just run in and make like I was preparing to help somebody get set up for their next turn on stage or whatever.
Sure. Sort of like a stagehand.
Yeah. So I'm basically pretending to be a stagehand, and then I'm just
Gotcha.
gonna try and find out from the person in there if they've heard anything from the nobility specifically recently about the state of things.
Yeah. You do find the lead cultist wearing like long red robes and the super ornate like dragon mask. And they play like the grand villain that's supposed to die, and their death closes the portal, which prevents Tiamat from coming into the physical realm. The cultist is like, "Where's my dagger? Son of a bitch! Has anyone seen my dagger?" And you approach with the dagger before asking this question. Well, I will say this. The Bloody King doesn't like our show. And if we don't have the nobility on our side, how are we going to be making money? I've been talking about it for weeks. We've got to change things up. And at that point, you hear another voice like, "We're not changing anything, Harold." But you get the sense that he's thinking in the context of the show. And at that moment, someone says, "Hey, where are your stage blacks?" Wait, who's your supervisor?
Well, actually, it's funny you should ask that. But, and I just grab the nearest heavy like prop and just thrust it into that person's hand and make a break for it.
Yeah, and you're able to split out through that side exit once again and make your way back into the street.
Yep, cool.
Yeah. Okay. And who's up next?
I guess Bryn can try. She was just gonna try and like have general conversation, like maybe a street vendor who's quieter, like a food stand or something like that.
Sure. Yeah.
Like,
there is a dude selling turkey legs.
hell yeah. She's gonna go up to Turkey Leg Man.
Mm-hmm. He's sort of got like a nice, comfy, round belly, and he seems like this man is the walking definition of comfortable. Like he just seems like a hearty. He's got like a comfortable smile on his face, little sparkle in his eye, kind of. Oh, evening, ma'am.
Oh, good evening. How are you?
Doing dandy, and yourself?
I'm doing very well, and I'm sure I'm going to be better after purchasing one of your delicious-looking turkey legs.
I'm sure you are too. When he takes it off the rack and offers it to you, wraps it in little paper so it doesn't get the grease drippings.
So she'll like pay for that, which is how much? I'll just mark that quickly first.
5 silver.
I was wanting to ask as well. I'm actually traveling through. I'm doing some study in the different regions with medicine and herbs and things like that. How has there been any upsets, anything disruptive happening in the area recently?
Well, not to my knowledge. Things have been good. Things have been good. Business is good. People are happy. No wars with any other neighboring city-states. The deep wood is same as always.
Oh, yes, actually, I was wondering about that because, as I said, with herbs and different medical pursuits and things like that, the rumor has it that the forest moves. That can't be true, can it?
Well, tall tales, if you ask me, but every now and again, people do see unexplained phenomena.
And any of these phenomena, we've heard that there is a forest of statues, which sounds also very intriguing.
Have you been?
Not yet. We're planning on setting out at some point, though.
I recommend a day of rations. It can be a long trek. It used to be only about a quarter of a day before it took to get to the Forest of Statues, but now it's a bit farther.
What has changed? That the distance is longer now to walk to. Is that with the moving of the forest?
You know, that would make sense. But nobody's seen the forest move. Huh.
But it takes
I never thought about it like that.
Walk to now. Very interesting. I'll have to look. And do you know in the area, any rumors or anything interesting happening? I'm sure that you hear so much from different people passing through.
Oh, there's always the classics. The nobility is actually lizard people. There's one going around right now that pterodactyls are abducting children. I don't. How? I tell you, some people will believe anything these days.
They really will. Lizard people is a new one. I don't think I've heard about that in different regions. What?
Oh.
Where did this even start?
I think it's more of a social commentary on the distribution of wealth and how the nobility can often be interpreted as an alien race by the lower class society.
Of
But
course.
that's my interpretation.
Well, it could be a very accurate representation of that, like you say, with social commentary. Has there been unrest between the nobility and the more common people?
No, folks are happy. Crime is down. Business is good.
And also, I do as well as the medical pursuits. I am actually of a knighthood myself. I was wondering if there was a particular way of getting in contact with the loophole family. You know how knight ships tend to sometimes connect with one another.
I do. The king is available to petition 5 days a week from just after lunch until for about 2 hours, I think is the window he's been running lately.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for all of your help. I am going to definitely enjoy this turkey leg.
It is. I'm very proud of the seasoning that I've put together.
Can I smell what kind of? Can Bryn smell what kind of seasoning it is?
Cayenne pepper.
Oh hell yeah! All right, she will leave.
Yes. Okay.
I know it's not fun, but I'm not certain Oriana's going to go up to attempt to speak to anybody.
Okay.
I don't really know if this is her kind of scene.
Sure.
And I'm thinking about it going like, who would she go and talk to? Would she go and talk to anyone? So I kind of imagine she's just been watching everybody else in her party and looking to make sure that they don't do anything stupid.
Yeah, that's totally reasonable. Is there anything that you want to do in the meantime outside of watch your party? Does Oriana want to get some food in the theater district? Does she want to watch a show for a couple of minutes? Does she...
Yeah, I like the idea of sneaking in to see a small amount of a show that she's definitely not paid to go watch.
Awesome. Which one are you thinking of?
I just like the name of a Midsummer Day's Day.
Yeah, well, the intermission ends. Yeah, the intermission ends shortly after the other two end up leaving, and people end up filing back into the crowd. The curtain rises, and almost immediately, sort of prancing out, is a fairy. The fairy says, "Oh boy, sure am glad I didn't get caught on fire." And the crowd kind of laughs. Apparently, it's like a joke that's held over from the previous half of the intermission. And it is very slapstick. Immediately afterwards, a woman comes out and, "You, I thought you were dead." Very like telenovela-esque in the fairy. You can't get rid of me that easily. I'm basically like mishmashing telenovela, Rick and Morty, and just a spice of Family Guy in there. So it's all over the place.
Would be 100% not the kind of theater that Oriana would be used to.
Yes,
From
it is not
growing up in
highbrow. It is lowbrow. You can see that at one point a facsimile of the king comes out, and the crowd like cheers, and then he turns to face the audience and rips off his chest plate, and you can see there's like a different family crest, and the crowd just starts booing. And it is just very much on the nose for the humor. If they can make fart jokes, they do.
Oriana is kind of just like vaguely amused, but like I don't know, I'm not so sure about this.
Yeah.
She probably won't stay for an awfully long time.
Okay, sure. I think you leave when the king kills his twin. That's probably like, this isn't even funny.
That's just
Um,
Thursday.
Yeah. Okay, so that's the 6 of you. Is there anything else that y'all want to do?
Guess to just reassemble and compare notes.
Yeah.
Sweet.
I imagine Brynjael will be pretty easy to find, being a large, shimmering dragonborn with a giant turkey leg in her hand. And probably convene around her.
I mean,
Yeah.
she's not in her armor at the moment, but yeah, she's like just standing there, just like delicious, like turkey leg.
Yeah, I guess we
Well.
just compare notes.
we
Acquainted
have we were very productive, weren't we, Aery?
Yes. We
Uh,
learned something. I don't know if it's useful, but
there were more talk of the forest moving.
and about pterodactyls abducting.
I believe we
children.
need to look into these gnomes.
They're up to something. I'm sure of it.
Why else would pterodactyls take them?
They must know something that we don't.
That's actually really interesting. I also found the nice man that sold me the turkey leg also was saying things about pterodactyls and also the forest moving as well. He said that it used to only take about a quarter of a day travel to get there, but now it takes half a day.
So it is moving away.
Well,
Are we
I
sure
can't
it isn't
blame
just
it if people
being
are cutting down trees.
logged down?
Yeah,
Well,
maybe
yes,
they're
perhaps
just
they're just
cutting
cutting
down
the
the
trees down and not
Yeah.
realizing that that means the forest will get smaller.
Is this just a common occurrence of like human intervention? Like, where are all my trees? I cut them all down yesterday. They should be back.
Yeah, maybe they're just stupid.
But I don't know if that would mean that it takes longer to get to a destination. Because I don't know if cutting down trees means that statues are further away.
Well,
Whatever's
you would imagine it
happening.
would be more concerning if statues were moving. Maybe
Well,
that's
it
something we
takes-
can ask the keeper.
It takes longer to get to the forest of statues.
But we didn't learn about the king.
No, everyone seems to be suspiciously happy with the nobility, which is not always something that you see in towns. Oh, I did find out, so after we have gone and checked this out, if we want to follow up directly, the king can be petitioned directly. We can get an audience with the king.
we
If
can
that's important
speak
at all. 5 days a week is available. That's actually maybe that's why people like the nobility here, is because they're actually very available to go and talk to and stuff.
That sounds promising.
People
I mean, I
tend-
imagine he would be concerned about his potential death.
Is
Have
that
we
really
asked
something that
anyone about the statue?
Yes, they didn't
No.
know anything about it, and they said that the king is totally fine and everything is normal except for, the pterodactyls and things. The
Yes,
forest.
and someone said the nobility is lizard people.
Oh yeah, no, wolf people? I forgot
Wolf
about that
people.
one. It was
Yeah.
stupid.
Turkey Man came up with a very, very interesting proposition that is just an analogy for how the common folk view the nobility and the distribution of wealth and the general populace.
Oh, that sounds so nice, Bryn. Maybe you should tell us about it sometime.
I don't understand what's wrong with wealth.
Well, nothing, but if it's all taken by like a little percentage of the people and then everyone else is like working really, really hard and other people are just like laying about and doing nothing all day, but they're the ones calling the shots at the same time, even though they're not the ones that are working the hardest, it can cause distress in the people.
Well, the king does
Huh.
work at least 5 days a week, and the chocolate man only works 6 days a week, so that seems pretty fair to me.
I mean, I guess.
I
Should
think
we go back to the
maybe
hunt?
just a thing though. I don't know about anyone else, but I would be pretty upset if someone told me that a mysterious forest that grows statues when people die has a statue of me in it. Maybe we just be a little bit, just until we've looked into it a little, be a little
Yes,
bit
I
more
think
quiet
we
about
should-
that part.
at least we should definitely make sure we see the statue first. Maybe we should see the king, and then we should see the statue, because then we will know if it looks like him.
It's a very good
then
point.
we should think about telling the king. But what
The
would
only
we
thing
do
that I
about?
worry is what
That
would we
didn't
petition?
go so well last time.
Yes, we have had some poor experiences with actually talking to the people in charge about what is wrong with their town, even when we're right.
That
Especially when we're
tell us what we're actually supposed to be doing here. Are we just investigating? Are we supposed to what is our purpose here?
Yes, we actually even supposed to help the king or just
Yeah,
figure
are we
out
just supposed to
why?
find out what's
Who said
going
he's the good guy?
Well, I think it would be something along the lines of knowing what the weft is supposed to stand for, just seeing if there's some kind of magical intervention that's happened to cause a phenomenon, or just so that they have the information that there's an unrest in the seat of power.
So, do we want to? We haven't had much luck getting rumors about the ruling family from the general populace. Do we want to try and either get into the palace or something, or find like a governor or a mayor or something like that, as and go through their paperwork and see if they're being entirely honest or if they know anything else
Oh.
about this forest.
Dear.
Eredan is so sneaky. And I don't want to have to read anyone's paperwork, but it's not a bad idea. What do you guys
Then-
think?
I don't know that we should go snooping until we have some kind of direction on what we're snooping for.
I think
That's fair.
if this were a big problem for the town, people would be talking about it more. So obviously, whatever is happening is mostly happening in the Deepwood. I think we need to go there
I
to
agree.
figure out what is going on.
But definitely Satine could probably provide some insight for us. I mean, if she's the one that oversees, she would know who is buried. I would think that a plot of land being occupied.
And I still want to ask her about prices.
That way,
Well, yeah,
but also then,
with it.
if we find that that plot of land perhaps was purchased by someone, then looking at the officials, maybe it's one of them. Can give us some kind of direction.
True.
You never know.
It's important that we know what the king looks like before we go and look at the statue. So maybe there's a way that if he's addressing the public or something, we can just go and see him and just get a peek at him, and then we know what we're working with.
Do you think they have
That is a good
vanity
point.
portraits? You know, like how
Yeah, but that's so inaccurate.
I mean, they can be pretty good. If we're in the same vicinity, at least if we say that we're going to look at the past rulers to admire the art or whatever, it gives us a good excuse at least to possibly be near the palace, rather than thinking of reason to petition them that we don't really have.
That's true. I don't know.
Is just out of character for a second, Dom, is he on the currency? Is it like the Queen? Is his face on the money?
No, it's just a general printing on the coin of the crest of House Pator, which is like a flowering oak tree.
I have just thought of the best idea. We could petition the king for better availability of chocolate items.
But there's so many chocolate items available.
But then if we
if
there's given more attention,
Yeah, what if we petition him for a tax cut on chocolates? Because they were quite expensive.
I was thinking if we are adventurers coming into the city, then maybe we could just be we just wanted to meet with you so that you knew who we were, and if you need anything done, maybe we can help.
Well, I mean, I can
as a
probably help with that regard. It's not unheard of with knights of different night ships when they're visiting towns. We'll connect with the presiding night ship.
What night are you for? how the nights work. I don't know.
What night for? Mondays? Tuesdays?
No, well, I'm not from a big family, but it still carries weight. I still do have a family crest.
Oh, so you're a knight just for your own family? You're not sworn to like a king or a queen or.
I'm more sworn to an ideal than a king or queen, the general aiding and assistance of those who need it.
Oh, that's so progressive of you, Bryn. I love it.
Eminence and Knight could also possibly secure a noble family to noble family thing.
I feel like this
If-
may be another Bryn, Aery, and Oriana adventure.
I think we can all go.
And
Excuse me?
Eminence, however, I believe it's just actually probably even just myself who's the odd one out.
I'm
Why
sure.
would you not come with us?
Oh,
I can
Say
I
that,
can I can
Natalie.
beef up, I can be your bodyguard.
You're our
See, exactly. You have an integral part in this group
exactly.
correct.
You need
as
to
a
stop talking
bodyguard.
yourself down. Honestly, I think perhaps other than Bryn, you're the most, like, what's the word? Not to say that we're not good, but they're like very respectable. Not that we're not respectable, but you know what I mean.
I
We're really not.
yes, but I don't understand nobility or any of this. I feel it's out
okay.
of my
We're
depth more than anything.
And
We're
that's
not
where we
asking
come
you
in.
to go to a dinner party. It's fine. We will just go and meet with them.
There are dinner parties.
Well, not necessarily.
But we don't need
Oh
to
my
take you to
God.
one. You don't need to go to one and learn about all the types of like little spoon
But
and
what if
fork
we
and
get
things like that.
invited?
Well, then
General,
we
if you really
have
have
to
to, you
become-
work your way outwards in. It's real easy.
Work
Well,
your
yes,
way
if you do it in the
outwards
elven
in.
tradition, but then you'd have to talk about the tiefling tradition and the gnomish. Have you had a dinner party with gnomes before?
Can we
Oh,
go?
no.
Can we leave? I would like to get going. I don't want to talk about this. This is I feel very overwhelmed.
It can be overwhelming, but don't worry, Natalie. We will guide you. It will be totally fine. And like I said, we are not going to a dinner party. It would just be, like a meeting in a hall where we'll be like, hello, like, this is our knight friend who would like to talk to you because she's a knight. And like, we'll just say hello, and it will be totally fine. It'll be really nice, and it won't be terrible at all.
And if there is a dinner party, I will sit beside you and teach you how to hold the stemware. It's very important.
Yes, we will teach you.
Okay?
Okay.
Good. So we're going to a dinner party.
Yeah, why not?
Oh, I misunderstood.
No, I think we are not going to the party. Probably.
Oh. But if we do,
I'm glad.
I will sit next to Natalie.
Yes.
I'm not dressed for a dinner party. I don't think any of us have the clothes with us. Well, maybe.
I think you are extremely wrong about that. I have an answer for every situation.
Well, then perhaps if I wanted to do that first, we go back and ask Askat how one would petition the king. We can explain the situation. Because he's only available 5 days a week. We don't even know if that's tomorrow, the day after. Today could have been the last day that he had his petitions open until
Yeah,
next
it's-
week.
It's Tuesday.
It's Tuesday, so
He might work like a Wednesday.
When
He
are
works
they-
Monday through
Right.
Friday.
yeah. But we don't know what kind of schedule he's on. So if we go and ask Askat, he would be able to direct us to the best possible person to schedule an appointment.
Okay.
All right.
What time is it?
Well,
Is
if
it
there
like
are
evening?
plays going on, it's probably getting close to the evening. Yeah. The sun is starting to dip lower and lower. The sky is taking on more crimson and violet hues.
Okay.
So we have dinner included in our room rent. So perhaps we can go back for refreshment. I mean, I just had a turkey leg, but I can always fit in, a little bit of something else and find out where we need to go to petition the king.
And then we can petition the king in the morning, and then head to potentially the Deepwood in the afternoon tomorrow.
Potentially. Back to the hotel.
Back to
Yeah.
the
Well,
hotel.
the inn, I guess. It wouldn't be a hotel, but you know.
Pretty fancy.
Do we want to get back into another hubbub about plastic cups? Because I will say there are plastic cups in there. Yeah, you head back to the Golden Tankard, which is not too far. It's centrally located on the northern end of town. And you probably arrive by about dinner time. You can see that the white tablecloths have been tossed over all of the iron tables. You can see that cushions have been added to the chairs as well. Candles are being lit up to bring a brighter atmosphere. And at this point, you can also see that across the ceiling, different plants have sort of grown in. You couldn't really tell during the day, but now at nighttime, with sort of the candlelight flickering, it's casting these beautiful shadows all across the wall of different vines and flowers in the interior. So, someone's doing a thing? No?
I'm in a fit. I just have to. I think.
No worries.
She's okay. By fit, I don't mean like a fit. I just mean she's being insane.
Having a
Just like a
tantrum.
Yeah.
No, I think it's okay. I was about to
Yeah.
excuse myself, but I think we get.
Is Askat present? Can we see him?
Yeah.
Or at least
He's
if he's not available.
bustling about talking to patrons, sort of like have you ever been to like an upscale Italian restaurant where the
Yes.
owner like walks around with a bottle
The
of
ma-
wine?
The
Yeah,
maitre
yeah,
d' kind of seat and greet and move around and make sure everyone's comfortable and happy. And then they do like they get the servers over to like actually do the heavy lifting stuff.
It's exactly that. And he's like waving people over. He's having idle chit chat and conversation, and every now and again you can hear him. And that's how I slew the dragon. Oh, great time. As he's like finishing up stories, but eventually his eyes settle on the six of you, and oh, my friends, come, sit. I have kept the table aside for the six of you.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you so much.
Are you interested in dinner?
Yes, I believe so. We did also want to ask as well, if one was seeking an audience with the king, whom do we go through to organize such?
You would go to his manor in the center of town. You wait in line, and hopefully you get in before they close the doors.
Is there a way to send an advance letter and book?
I mean, that's what petitioning is. You come to the king with your problems, and he helps you, or doesn't.
But you just show up. There's not like any way that we can arrange a certain time. We just have to go and hope that we don't have to wait too long.
If you had some sort of connection that you could exercise.
Well, that is more something we were hoping to bridge.
I don't have any connection with the kings.
No.
He's holding on to my gold right now.
Yes, I can imagine that they would be quite enjoying the revenue that your establishment would be bringing in. No, this is from a more business-orientated perspective rather than a complaint or general conversation that one of the populace may present forward.
If you are waiting and it is of urgent attention, perhaps try to find his advisor, Silence. He may be able to do something for you.
Wonderful.
His name is Silence.
Oh, I like that.
Yes, excellent name.
So mysterious.
Wonderful. And I have heard that it's only a 2-hour window that he has petitioning. What time?
They're early.
What's that? But he starts at a particular time. People would start lining
just
up
after lunch.
just after lunch.
So people start lining up usually just before lunch.
Oh,
eat while waiting.
And would he happen to have, in terms of connecting, potentially not directly with the king, of course, but surely he would have retainers as well as his advisor?
Certainly. I wouldn't see why not.
They're not known. He doesn't have officials that are known to carry out decrees or other members of the loophole knightship and household.
That would be again silence to help him with that, and El Romior. Who would be able to help you. Those are the two that usually sit in. Every now and again, you can see Niladrie or Cassius, but generally they don't enter into the meetings that much.
Of course. And would any of them be contactable outside of petitioning hours?
If you sent a letter or went to their homes, perhaps.
We will take that into consideration.
I would encourage you to try the proper channels first
Oh, of course.
before exercising more variable methods.
We are all here presently, just absolute conduits of civility and order. I'm sure that will not be a problem for us.
I see no way in which this backfires.
Wonderful. Well, I guess we will enjoy your meal. I'm happy. Well, Maitre D's recommendation, I'm sure all of us would be happy with, yes?
Oh, I'm afraid there is no choice. You will have the salmon and you will enjoy it. And he kind of does like the snapping thing. And 6 plates with lemon battered salmon with a small crusting of what appears to be Parmesan on the top.
Yum.
With a bed of lemon cooked asparagus. What is it when you like you put the asparagus in the pan and you like drizzle lemon over it over and over so it like soaks in?
Yum.
No idea what
Yeah,
that's
it's
called.
That's what it is.
typically, like asparagus would be blanched and then pan fried and with lemon juice. So
Sure, that one. Yeah.
delicious lemon coating.
Yes.
Is this town anywhere near the sea?
Nope.
Hmm.
Pretty far inland.
We all get food poisoning and die.
Technically, salmon is one of the few fish that is freshwater and saltwater, though.
True.
Can be between both. They don't care. Water is water to salmon.
Either way, Eminence just tucks in. She has no concept of food safety or hygiene. She has a concept of hygiene, but not in the terms of
Here,
anything that is outside of
Food
what
or
she
health and
can
safety
see.
is not a
She does not
priority.
care.
Yeah,
No.
I'll roll for the quality of salmon.
Uh-oh.
Okay,
Oh, no.
that's,
Oh,
that's
please
actually
tell me
best.
it's not overcooked.
It's okay. We
Oh,
haven't
great, it's
taken any
fine.
damage. I
good.
can alleviate poisoning for all of us if we need to.
If he served bad salmon, I'm pretty sure he would run into a lot of trouble considering his
Mm.
clientele.
Is there anyone in the tavern that looks more, or not in the common space that looks more approachable at dinner time? Does everyone still look aloof and a bit like an asshole?
People are a little bit more open now that it's nighttime and the wine is flowing. The conversations are becoming more open between the different tables. You get the sense though that it's still like a pretty high class joint, but it's also like most of the people in upper society know each other, if not in person, at least by name. And the fact that they're all kind of sitting here at this establishment eating dinner together means like I may not know you, but you're eating here, so I respect you.
So are we getting any looks then? Like, is our group getting looks? If everyone seemingly knows each other, is anyone in particular kind of like
I think
eyeballing the group?
Natalie is probably getting a few confused glances, and then also Aery, because Aery, I imagine, is dressed to the nines as always, and they're like,
Yeah.
"Who is that? Who is that? Who is that?"
Who is she?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I would like to sit next to Natalie at dinner and just helpfully kind of point out the fork. As if I've taken that conversation to mean she does not know how to eat like a human being.
And Natalie's just like politely, patiently listening to you, but is like, I know how to fucking use a fork. Like,
It's nice, but it's not like obsequiously nice. You were given a single fork and knife on a napkin and a wine glass. Figure it out.
Yeah, I'll just every time I pick something up, I'll just be like,
Do you know what this is?
Picky up, picky up, picky up. Yes.
but if there is
Yes,
soup,
you are.
however, we'll still be there.
Yeah, you know, you just don't care.
Yeah.
People give you looks. You're like, what? It's more efficient.
I'm not waiting to drink my soup. Like, come on.
it's polite in Japan, okay?
Yes. Yeah. Is there a table that you would like to approach? Again, there are elves, half-elves, humans. Those two tieflings that were there earlier are no longer there. You can see that there is three dwarves around a table that have nice clothing as well. There's a dragonborn, one silver dragonborn in the corner. Again, at a table with two half-elves.
I think Bryn would like wait to see if anyone else was like wanting to take an initiative with doing that, and if no one cared to socialize with other tables, she wouldn't bother.
Well, actually, I have an idea. So if Aery notices the glances he's getting, he'll be like, "Oh, I'll be back," and he'll just like go and like sit at the bar by himself and just see if like anyone.
Is anybody going to come tell me how I am?
Aery's falling back in his courtesan ways.
Yeah.
Well,
Oh,
it's like
that
sipping on
doggo
a drink.
noise.
Yeah, she's been fed. She's crying for no reason.
Oh, that's a mood.
He
I'm
just
going
wants
to
your
move because she's been
love.
angry.
Whereas Kaylee, now that she's been fed, has fucked off, and I haven't seen her in an hour and a half.
You continue to hear the conversation swirl and dance about inside of the room as people are like talking, presumably about you, until finally a gentleman comes over and kind of sits himself next to you and good evening. Would you mind if I purchased you a drink?
Oh, well, hello there. Of course. What are you drinking?
I'm just doing dragon whiskey.
Well, I will have the same.
Tell me, how did you get away from Lord Vathrunir?
Sorry.
I've heard the stories. They are quite spectacular. But from what I hear, his wife wasn't too pleased.
Oh, well, you know, I have my ways and I could never reveal my tricks in case, you know, what if I have to do it again?
And what if you have to do it indeed? How long have you been in town?
Only the day. Are you from here?
Sorry, just the day?
Yes. We only arrived today.
He kind of leans in and looks at your face a little more closely. Oh my goodness, I am so sorry. I have gotten you confused for someone else. That is entirely on me.
Strange when
Please,
your story was so recognizable.
that is
Who is it that you thought that I was?
concerning. It's a story for another time. I'll leave you to your drink and your comrades. Have a
No,
good night.
please.
The gentleman gets up and starts walking back over to the table, where you can see that there is a group of 3 or 4 people, and they're all kind of like watching as the gentleman sits over and starts hushing, and the other 3 kind of like look at you and then back at him and then back at you and like,
I
"No,
am
no."
confused.
Thank
Did
you.
I actually recognize his story?
No.
Okay, because Aery absolutely would have just like gone along with it anyway. But
Yeah,
I don't know.
that's kind of what I was thinking.
Yeah.
No, you did not recognize that story, that name at all,
Okay.
and you get the sense that he literally thought you were someone else. I rolled for like who approached, and I got a natural one. So that could have gone a multitude of different ways.
Hmm.
Anyways,
Oh well, he was useless, and I'll just go sit at the table.
Is there any like particular like little bits of conversation that are like in the hum of the dining space that's kind of leaping out over anything else?
the weather's nice. The Fall of Tiamat is getting good reviews. A Midsummer's Day's Day is surprisingly funny. Yeah, that's about it in terms of general conversation. It's kind of all over the place.
Suspicious. About,
Alright,
Not
so
getting information.
yes, if there's
Looking-
like no leads, I'm like at this whole town like hypnotized
Looking
into
around.
thinking everything's fine.
Yeah, they seem too chill.
I know, it's such a big town. There can't be this many people that have no qualms with anything happening currently.
Oh god, it's like Jasmine from Angel. Got the
I'm-
whole town mind controlled.
I know that we said that we would go to the king tomorrow to find out what he looks like, but maybe it's worth going there first, memorizing this statue and such,
Mm.
and
Yeah, it's
coming
probably
back to compare that to
intangible.
him
Yeah.
rather than just something
suppose.
is a little bit. Everyone just seems happy.
Which
So-
is
I know
suspicious
it's
and D&D.
But there is no discontent. It's just
Happiness is not a prevalent
Yeah, it's
thematic in
weird.
Dungeons and Dragons.
No, and everyone was happy, and there were no monsters, and the peasantry were at peace.
Yeah.
Like,
that's a bit of a like a long shot, I guess. Or do we get the feeling that, and like I will kind of share this thought with the group as in like an invitation to check as well, but like kind of, do we get the feeling that it is like unnaturally happy? Like, is that reasonable to be like, or are we just going like, it's Dungeons and Dragons, why is everyone not sad? You know? Like,
That's kind of what I'm seeing it as. I'm seeing it as the second one.
okay.
Because
Um,
Bryn does have with her background like an understanding of like the intricacies with like a noble hierarchy and stuff like that. So if it's not
Yeah,
standing out to her as anything unusual kind of happening, then I guess it
So,
wouldn't.
specifically in Velater, it is a hybrid human and elf society. So things move faster than in elf society, but it still has a lot of the grace and poise that is present in elf society. So the fact that A Midsummer's Day's Day is funny is probably going to be like the biggest thing for the next month. This isn't like a human town, or goodness forbid even like a gnomish town where things are just like fast. This is a much more measured sort of environment. Like even crime in and of itself is very odd, and it's usually, according to the guard, perpetrated by newcomers, not longtime residents. And this is more, I think, to do with elvish culture than human culture.
Okay.
And I would say that, like, after spending a day in the town, the six of you are probably able to get a sense for that. Like, this isn't New York. This isn't Los Angeles. This isn't Sydney. Things aren't as fast paced. Gotta go. This is a step back.
so aside from Aery, who is the most fancily dressed person in the room?
Probably Bryn or maybe Eminence.
In
Yeah, I
the
was gonna say, do you
room.
mean in our party or did
Oh, in the room.
Outside our, I
Yeah.
mean outside our
Right,
party.
my bad.
Like,
There is an elven woman at a table with two of her children, a son and a daughter, both half elven. And she is wearing a very ornate dress. You can see she's got some very nice earrings on as well, small black beads at the bottom of them. And it's sort of like a black and silver inlay across the bodice, and it's sort of open in the chest a little bit, but then it rises up to cover the shoulders before like poofing out, and it's just this very elegant ensemble.
yeah, okay. Does she have any family crests or anything like that on her? Is she very obviously part of either of the big families we've been talking about?
You do not see a crest immediately visible on her or her children.
Yeah, all right. So I just lean over to Aery and I go, so we haven't had a lot of luck so far, but that woman over there, she looks as though she's probably got some level of power or influence. Do you want to maybe give her a try and see if she knows anything, or should I? You might have more luck than me. You're probably a little bit more up to date on courtly manners than I am at this point. But
We could go together.
6-1. Let's try that then.
Okay.
Eminence is staring just directly at her salmon, trying not to look offended.
So Aery and Eredan approach, is it?
Yep.
You get over to the table. Why do I have to sneeze? Hey, yeah, Yakia. That's my fighting. Yeah. Oh boy, no, that's. Anyways, the two of you approach. You can see that the conversation has sort of reached a quiet lull. They're sort of eating their dinner in silence, and she's sort of sipping from a wine goblet. And she does not look up as the two of you approach. Instead, the son looks over and stands, pushes himself back from the table, and yes, might I be able to assist you?
Oh, good evening. Actually, I just noticed. Sorry, I would hate to assume, but your beautiful sister, her incredible gown. I just wanted to ask where she got it, and give her the compliment.
The sister kind of puts down her cutlery and
No, I meant the mother. I like motion towards the mother. But you know how like people are always like, oh my God, it's like
Yeah,
a
yeah.
sister? She looks like a
Oh,
sister, like a mom. Just that.
That's a nice touch.
I see. The actual sister like looks a little excited and then sees you motioning to the mom and like like sours a little bit. The mother is just like drinking from a wine glass and sets it down and slowly turns and looks at you. She doesn't
Good
say anything.
evening.
Good evening.
I just wanted to pay compliment to your incredible dress. Did you have it made here?
The compliment is received. Thank you.
Amazing.
And she picks up her cutlery and goes back to eating.
Just like look at the kids and just be like,
the son who's like standing and looking at you guys like slowly raises his eyebrows like this shit.
yeah, like she's always like this.
Yeah. The sister is no longer paying attention to you now that you pivoted the attention away from her.
All right, my turn.
Good luck.
Yeah, I know, right? There is a problem with trying to play a character that is much more charismatic than I am. I can never think what to say. I don't.
What would Eredan say?
Yeah. Good evening, my lady. It's I can't help but notice that you are the fairest person in this entire room, and you really command the eye. I couldn't help but wonder if perhaps you knew the king, because we've been we're a party of what's the trying to find a word that's less shitty than adventurers. Yeah, I'll just say adventurers. A party of adventurers that have been trying to get an audience with the king, and we were wondering if you could perhaps let us know a little bit what he might be like. How does that go down?
She finishes her bite. Make a persuasion check.
Just say that to Eredan.
Yeah.
She says that to him. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be pretty funny. 16 plus 9. 9, 6. I can't add 25.
25.
25.
This is what I mean. He's much more charismatic than I am.
Yeah. She puts down her fork and knife and dabs at her lips. And she looks back at you, Aery, and then looks at the table where the remaining 4 of you are sitting. I suppose it's what we get for coming to a tavern for dinner.
Oh, they're so rude. It's amazing.
The king is very pleasant. Is there anything else?
I don't think we're going to get anywhere.
Yeah, no, I have nothing else to say to her.
Yeah.
Alright. Oh no, not at all. I hope you have a very pleasant evening. And then I'm just gonna leave because I
Indeed.
don't.
Yeah, same. It's pointless. We're not going to get anything out of her. That was a fucking 25 and she was still rude.
Yeah. Oh my god, what is wrong with these people? We were so nice.
I know. All those compliments. And
She doesn't even
well.
deserve them. I mean, it's a pretty nice dress, but god, it looks terrible on a bitch.
So, is Aery and Eredan talking about this back at the table?
Yeah, how
Yeah.
far away was the table that they went to?
Probably about 15 feet away. If you speak at like normal speaking volume, you can definitely hear. Because as you're walking back, you realize that most of the people in the room were watching the two of you walk up to this woman.
I would say it at normal talking speed. Not like saying it like excessively loudly, but like he would.
Sure.
Trying
You
to.
hear the sound of a knife scrape against porcelain as the sister, not the mother, but the sister, you can see her shoulders kind of tighten up a little bit.
Don't feel bad about it.
Yeah.
As they sit back down, Eminence just mutters, "Fancy enough, were you?"
Apparently not.
Are they still looking? So they're still looking at our direction. Are they still kind of partially paying attention to the half-orc sitting at the table?
Some people are kind of glancing over every now and again to look at the half-orc, yeah.
I would like to turn to one of them and just grin. In the biggest, toothiest grin that I can possibly muster.
Yeah. There's like a half-elf frat boy. That's just like, oh my.
Yeah, these people suck.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, in this kind of establishment, if there's a viewpoint of you're an adventurer, the nobility are not going to like you. Unfortunately, if they need brawn, they have their ways, and outsiders are utilized more by the common folk.
Well, not where I'm from. Everyone always loved to hear the
Indeed.
tales of adventures.
Yes.
But maybe this place is just boring.
Yes, me too. If the nobility where I'm from are much more approachable than this. I've never seen anybody so rude in my life.
See, this is why I
It
left
wasn't-
home. Elves can be so boring. They're all so stuck up about themselves.
Hmm. Oh well.
honestly.
I don't understand how they can be rude to either of you. You're wonderful.
You're wonderful too, Natalie.
Thank
Um,
you.
Are
Yes,
any of
and I agree.
the three from the table they approached looking, or are they all they've just gone back to themselves?
The table with the elven woman,
Yeah.
they've kind of gone back to themselves.
Okay.
Every now and again, you can see them like quietly speaking to themselves, but they're keeping their voices respectably low.
Mm.
Can we keep our voices respectably high?
After all, it's what they get for choosing a tavern.
We just,
It is what
consistently shit talk them for the rest of the night.
Yeah.
But yeah, otherwise I
I
guess
mean,
it's just in
if you-
general. Oh, sorry.
If you think about it, Mary, it makes perfect sense that she had to buy the fanciest dress for the room she was in because she had so much to compensate for. I mean, you
It's
really
true.
need to distract from that face.
And absolute lack of personality, really.
Bryn is just like head in hand, just like my days. What's wrong with these people?
We're not doing anything. She was rude. We were being nice. And also,
All right.
that man over there, he confused me for someone else. How could I possibly be confused with someone else? It's absurd. I hate it here.
You have a very what's the word I'm looking? That's the one. Distinct look. I feel like maybe I should write into Natalie's character that she struggles with words because I struggle with words. But you have a very distinct character. I can't imagine that that'd be easy to mistake you unless there's someone
No.
running around looking exactly like you or something.
I must find this imposter and deal with them.
Don't think it has anything to do with our job, do you?
I can't imagine how
That's a
it
good
could,
point.
but
What if they're I don't know, shape changes? Or
I mean, you know, the king is possibly dead, and yet there is still a king who is alive. Maybe they are wolf people, and maybe one of them is impersonating me.
maybe. But
Why would they impersonate you, though?
yeah.
In this town?
I don't know, because no one here knows me, so it'd be easier to get away with it. Obviously,
very
if someone knew me,
This again.
they would not be fooled by someone pretending to be me, so they would have to go somewhere that I've never been.
I think we're out of options except maybe visiting the king or going to the woods at this point. I don't think we're going to find any more information from this town of extremely boring losers.
Yeah, I am tired of talking to these people. I hate them.
Well, we need to decide, do we want to go to the forest first, or do we want to try and petition the king tomorrow?
I think forest.
I think the forest first.
I think
Yeah.
the forest is the most promising.
Yes, get
It's a
us
shame
out
that
of
we
this
don't know
town.
what the king looks like, but I think that if we can compare it to what we see, maybe that will help too.
I mean, they would have a log of the most recent burials, at least, everything in the last couple of weeks. In the time that we got this job and the time that it has taken for travel.
Agreed. All right,
Well,
well,
I want to go to
what
bed.
time? Yeah, what time are we
Yeah.
talking about here? Can we, like, just banter for a bit but then go to bed? Like, you know?
Yeah. Well, I would
Sure.
assume we'd want to go to bed fairly early to get up, like, at just before dawn, so that we can get
Yeah.
there in daylight.
Ascat also says, "Wow, don't say his name slowly." He could set up a wake up service for you guys to wake you up just before dawn.
Oh yeah, the wake up call would be lovely.
Ooh, fancy.
Oh,
Yes.
Askat, while we have you as well, woman? And she's going to point to the elf that sassed Eredan and Aery.
That is Silaria Kem.
Are they a notable, the Kems, are they a notable house or are they just, a little bit self-important?
The stories go that the Kem family was one of the first families to propose a long-term establishment at Valater.
So they're very old money kind of family.
Yes.
Well, we've made a stellar impression on her, so I'm sure if we ever need anything from the Kem family, that's just going to go swimmingly.
At the very least, you stood out.
It's what we're good at.
Ain't that the truth?
Anyway, I'm going to bed. I can't deal with these people anymore.
That's fair. Alright, I'm
Get
gonna
good sleeps.
go downstairs and play my set like I'm supposed to.
You play tomorrow.
Alright, yep.
There was a
Sorry.
harpist tonight.
That's right.
Were they good?
They were good.
Ooh, should I sabotage them? No.
That's the bard coming out.
Out of tune. Okay, yeah. So, anything else anyone wants to do, or are y'all going to sleep?
No, well, I think Bryn would
Go to sleep.
organize with Azkat also like day rations for tomorrow, like bento
yeah.
boxes or equivalent, so that they're ready with our wake up call that we can take them with us.
Yeah, he absolutely can do that. He does hear you say picnic, and you can see he like smiles and winks at you. Okay, so the 6 of you go ahead and take a long rest. What are the room arrangements?
I would think that Bryn and Natalie would be together, probably.
I am fine with anything as long as I have the interconnecting room with my sister.
I was gonna say I was gonna probably put myself away because the 3 of them will want to be together. So it was like I'll be the other room. No?
Yeah, I think Bryn would like bunking with Natalie. They have pretty similar ideals, at least.
That's fair. Less like midnight gossiping.
Yeah. Maybe tonight Eminence bunks with Oriana because she doesn't bring it up, but she's still pretty salty that Eredan thought Aery was fancier than her and enlisted only his help.
Those 2 fancy bitches can stay together then, I suppose.
Exactly. Well, if elves are too fancy for the rest of us, then I'll just go slum it with my tiefling sister.
Okay, just a second.
Oh, Lily!
Pupper wants some attention. I just saw the pupper scoot away. Yeah, so the 6 of you get a long rest. Except for Aery and Eredan. At just after 2:30, there are knocks on your door.
Uh-oh, that family's come to kill us.
It's assassination time. Lily, please stop screaming.
The most polite assassins of all time that knock first.
Yeah.
Eredan, you are muted.
I had all those puns. That's terrible.
Oh, no.
Assassination. Anyway.
Ass cat. I guess I will answer that.
All right. Yeah, I don't know. All right. So,
Standing there in the doorway, you see the son of Lady Silaria Kem. And he says, "You're an adventurer?"
Yeah?
yes, we are.
What are you doing here?
Teach me, please.
To be an
And
adventurer?
that's where we'll end that session.
Oh,
Yes!
The acquired an
Oh my
NPC
god!
choir boy.
He's out.
We love
now.
getting
He belongs
pets.
to us. Yeah.
Yes, pretty
Well,
boys.
I think I say pretzels. I'm like, wait, what?
Pretzels too.
name
Pretzels are
now.
also good.
They are pretty amazing, to be fair.
right, cool. 6.
Damn.
Sweet.
Oh, I'm excited.
Me
I am going to be so much more pissed when I wake up in the morning.
Love it. I'm just creating difficult situations for your characters to be angry in.
Love it.
Yeah, so Solaria, she was not going to talk. So at some point in the conversation, I forget whether it was Eredan or Aery, one of you revealed that you wanted to know about the king and that you assumed she had something to do with the king. So she immediately was
that
like, these guys. Like, convincing though it was, you revealed what you wanted super early on, and she was like,
She was a bitch to me, and I just said she looked nice.
I mean,
Girl.
Yeah.
she's also a bitch.
That's also fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, same.
Yeah. Ah, Dungeons and Dragons. I always do this. I prep like 9 things, and I'm like, they're gonna do this, they're gonna do this, they're gonna do this, and then I actually get to the session. It's like they did one of this, and then they did nothing else.
Yeah, but you know, the one week that you account for the fact that we fuck around is the one week where we smash through it all.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the way.
But like that, don't look at that prep work as waste on, because we will use it. It's just
Oh,
that,
no,
like
yeah.
we won't use it this week.
There is things. There are things.
Much to think about.
Much to think about.
Little
Most
for us
things
to actually do.
Head empty, but much to think about.
and how do we not get this kid killed is the first thing that's popped into my head.
I
We
tell him
really
to
wanted
get
to
out.
fight
Then you're
out.
not teaching him how to be an adventurer is how you